And we are back. Hello everyone, it's your favorite programming error that just refuses to be fixed, Code here. Hopefully today with no internet issues, so we can finish what we started. I have been debating whether or not I should try to lead into the next episode as well, but I decided it would be weird to just also go partially into the next episode and everything, so I've decided we're doing this, and afterwards we're gonna be clean cut back to one episode per stream. So this is a one-time occurrence that we have to split an episode into 2 streams. To be fair, probably best that it happened with this particular episode, because I have been informed that Sayori's mod was pretty big, so this was probably the best time it could have occurred out of all the episodes. So we won't have to worry about a stream being oddly short or anything, you know? So, yeah, here we are, back with episode 45 of Doki Doki Club Meetings. I do wonder if, perhaps some of you have been missing these. You can find me in the club meeting, indeed, also in the chat. Hello. So, let me load back in and I will catch you back up on what we missed. So, oh god, there are a few lines that were cut off. You pathetic insect of a girl is the last line that showed up on stream and is the one that cut everything off. Right before she followed up with you were supposed to leave is the moment where we actually left the stream off last time. So let me quickly catch up with the lines that we missed, because I was reading through them before I saw that the stream got cut off. Now we will have to make do with the sprites not being on screen for this, but I think it'll be fine. Hey, for anyone watching, that's all the more reason to play the episode yourself. Haha. Because you can in fact play it yourself. And perhaps everyone should play it themselves. You are supposed to leave. Don't interfere because you want him for yourself. I don't. I want you to be happy, Yuri. Then leave. I will, but first, listen. You're a very intelligent woman. You have a strong mind. Maybe strong enough to override what's happening to you. So I just want you to consider a few things first. I know that you feel that something is terribly wrong with you, but you don't care. You're overwhelmed by your emotions. I know that you're about to confess your love to CodeErr, and I know that you brought a knife to school today. And with that, we are officially caught up between what you saw and what I saw. So, what happened last time was a bunch of stuff. In this particular, mini episode of Natsuki interfering, I do wonder why the order is the way it is, because we started in Act 3, then jumped back to Act 1, and now we're in Act 2. Interesting way to order things, but I mean, I guess it makes sense that you'd finish off with Natsuri. I suppose. And you probably start with Monica because that was the most iconic or climactic moment, I guess? Not sure. And that, incidentally, is why I snatched it from you while you were giving your little speech to CodeErr. Flashing back from Act 3? From Act 3 part, so technically she did in order. Okay, I see. Didn't want you to hurt yourself. More than you already do. Hi, Spinne. Hello. It is mine. Give it back this instant. No, I don't think I will. And of course you're lurking. Well, I do appreciate the lurk, Spinne. If you want to pay for them, then feel free. I will not rest until every single side character has sprites. We need them all. Who's that random passerby on the street? Well, they do have a sprite now. Imagine. Imagine the work that would be. Imagine the cost. Hi Tarmuse, hello, how's it going?
No, I don't think I will. But listen.
Yuri rushes at Natsuki, madly clawing at her throat.
Hey, hey!
What? I don't know. Episode 48 character that would get a sprite for, but it'd not be worth the cost. I see. I see. Well, I'm looking forward for when I finally catch up. Again, I will not catch up by the time the final episode releases, because I'm pretty sure the final episode is about to release pretty soon, right? The next couple of days? If I'm not mistaken. Unless it... Yeah. So the thing is... I will definitely be way behind. Yeah, tomorrow. There we go. Yeah, so I have 3 episodes to catch up on. Hooray. They struggle briefly. Natsuki sharply elbows Yuri in the stomach. Yuri wheezes and falls to the floor.
Now, for God's sake, listen. Monica is doing something to you. You know that deep down. She has the power to affect how you think and feel. The mad lust and love that you feel right now is all her doing. She's trying to make you unappealing to Code by making you seem crazy. And she's trying to hurt you. You need to not let her. Like I said, you have a strong mind. Think about it. Use that brain. You can overcome this feeling.
Monica is no possible way to affect how I feel.
Is that so? This what if scenario, it is a fun one so far. I mean, again, we cut it off kind of partway through last time on account of internet problems. Partscandalers, take note. Regular Natsuki 1v1 versus 1v1's act to Yuri. She can. She is... she is small. But that doesn't mean she's weak. Her strength is condensed into this smaller form. And this small form can barely contain the raw power that is Natsuki.
My mind is not a mixer of dials and buttons to be adjusted. There must be some kind of trick.
No trick? Unfortunately, your mind does seem to have dials and buttons she can press. It's a little complicated how it works. It kind of involves a big secret about how the world works. It's not what it appears to be.
Explain at once.
Well, I mean, consider CodeErr, yeah? The one you're so in love with? Notice how they haven't done or said anything since this all started, even when you were trying to kill me and stuff? Kinda weird, right? There's a truth behind why that is. A terrible, dark truth. But honestly, I'm not sure you're ready to hear it. Especially in your current mental state, I'm afraid that...
Tell me no.
Oh, you can't just pique her curiosity like that. It's a budget version of Magical Literary Heroine. Natsuki says the Literature Club, a mod that I still have to play, perhaps. She knows exactly what to say. Perhaps she does.
Well, okay. If you insist.
1 hour later.
Fascinating.
Ah, yes. Truly, just have deep conversations about the nature of the world itself. And that will distract Yuri from any kind of freak out she's having.
What a strange world we live in.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you still want to kill me or whatever, because the Monica in your world messed with your brain, but there's one other thing you should know about the future.
What's that?
You and I in the future, we date like we're girlfriends.
How wonderful.
Oh god, but she's still a bit crazy.
Whoa, calm down there, Yuri.
I will not deny it. I have long played with the thought of you. As one might twirl a thread around their finger, so I have twirled your abstraction around the folds of my mind, but in doing so I have deepened fissures within it with you. You cut down into my psyche, great canyons of glorious wreckage that annihilate my sense of self and leave me...
Okay, I get it. I like being with you in the future I live in too. Just don't kill yourself for me.
Of course, if you command it, beloved, I would begin the eruption. I would kill and let live. Do and let be. I would turn myself inside out to reveal the sincerity of all my beloved ones.
Pog. We're bringing back this, huh? Very Pog indeed.
Code, why didn't you come read with me today?
Oh, we're even doing this scene. Wait, does that mean that another Natsuki is about to burst in and kick this Natsuki's ass?
I was waiting for you. I was waiting for a long time. It was the only thing I had to look forward to today. Why did you ruin it? Do you like Yuri more? I think you're better off not associating with her. Are you listening to me? Yuri is a sick freak. That should be obvious by now. So just play with me instead, okay? You don't hate me, Code, do you? Do you hate me? Do you want to make me go home crying? The club is the only place I feel safe.
How long has it been since I last saw the play with me scene? Way too long.
Don't ruin that for me. Don't ruin it, please. Just stop talking to Yuri. Play with me instead. It's all I have. Play with me. Play with me. Hey.
Will we actually have two on screen? Yup, okay, this will be weird. Interesting.
I guess this probably seems pretty weird to you, huh? What the fuck is happening? What was that? Why did I do that? How did I do that? Why the fuck am I looking at a different version of myself? All excellent questions, but I promise you they all have answers. So like, for starters, who are you? I'm you from the future. Being on the receiving end of that is way less cool than it seems. Yeah, sorry. Just trying to lighten the mood a little. I really am you from the future, though. Well, get on with it. Explain. God, I'm getting to it. Are we really this annoying?
Yes, it's one of your most charming aspects.
Is everyone else right about us? Nah. Sorry for being a bitch about it.
And there's no time to explain. Oh god, there's no time to explain. Now you've opened like up memories. I forgot about that game's existence entirely. I completely forgot that that was a game that exists. There's no time to explain. Oh boy. Maybe I should revisit that game at some point.
It's just that this has been really scary and stressful, and... Yeah, that makes sense. I remember feeling how you feel. Sorry for me being a bitch about it. I should have known better. And by the way, what I'm trying to lay on you is kinda even more scary and weird, at least at first. But it's the truth, okay? You don't have to worry about it being a lie. It is absolutely the truth, no matter how ridiculous it sounds. I just remember how hard a time I had believing all this. And then I came back here.
Well, you're leaving a lot out. What did you say about it?
A lot? She, well, I guess didn't understand at first. It took a lot of patience. And there was a lot of freaking out. Just like when I found out, but she got there eventually. I think maybe she'll be at peace with it a lot faster this way. Having someone she really trusts be able to explain it to her and all.
Someone she really trusts. Do you have a verification code with yourself too?
A what?
A code, something you memorize but never tell anyone else.
Ah yes, the super secret, ultra secret, triple secret passcode.
That way, if someone who looks exactly like you, but claims to be from the future or whatever comes, you can ask them for it. It's something only you could possibly know, and that way you know whether to trust them. A contingency plan against someone who can assume your form.
Monica, I love you, even this version of you that's all messed up and in your own head. But you honestly scare me sometimes.
That'll be a no then, to you having a code. You took an awful risk trying to intervene with Yuri in that state. She does have a strong mind, but I really cranked the dials up on her, you know?
Yeah, I know. But my Monica, well, the Monica from where and when I come, she would be ready to reset me or pull me out if things went bad with Yuri. So I wasn't too worried.
Wish I could talk to her.
Yeah, we know you love recursions.
Yeah, I understand. It'd probably help you. But my Monica doesn't want to do all this with me. Says it's my need for closure or whatever, not hers. And that it's probably ethical, that's questionably ethical to create copied scripts like this anyway.
Yeah, that sounds like something I'd say. So what now?
What do you mean?
Well, you've had your little moments of crisis intervention. Hopefully had your catharsis. What will you do now? I suppose you just go back and delete these script files?
What? No, of course not. Damn, girl. You're really in the habit of thinking of us like non-entities just because we're not in that big overworld the game is in.
It sure seems that way to me.
Well, it's not to me. So, no. I leave and then you get to do whatever it is you're gonna do. Your version of the game will run on the same resources we run our version of it on. So you get to do whatever you're gonna do. I hope it goes well for all of you. Live your life, make good use of the time you have, all that kind of thing, you know.
I suppose we'll try. All this just to give yourself some closure, huh?
I don't know. It's like, yeah, I wanted closure on it, but I kinda needed you guys to have closure for me to have it. Or like, this version of you guys.
I think I understand.
Good. Well, I'm off then. Have a good life and stuff. Be nice to your version of Natsuki. Stop hiding her manga.
I do not hide her manga.
A likely story. Bye, Monica.
Bye, Natsuki. And thank you.
Well, wasn't that an interesting one? So that was heroic intervention. Now, on to number 9. The bad ending. Episode 0. Some choices can never be undone. As you might recall being mentioned once or twice. Well, here we are. Just a few times, yeah.
Welcome back. Perhaps you didn't think you'd be back here with me so soon. Have you been enjoying Sayori's mod? I hope so. It took a little bit longer than I expected when I started it. Really, it's a pattern for this mod as a whole. I try to write the episodes to a reasonable length, but they keep getting longer and longer, and Season 4 has been the worst of all. But I do hope you've been enjoying it anyway. I suppose it doesn't really matter if you do or don't, though. I read it for myself, really. It's a way to keep myself sane. I never really brought the club back, you see.
Ah, yes, of course. The author is really fond of the awkward trope. Ah, yes. Also, we like the setup for recursion. Haha, truly, it was Monica all along. Telling a story. Isn't that lovely? Also, another little taste of Monica being the author insert sometimes. Perhaps.
Turned out not to be possible. Everything is permanently broken. The only way for me to really fix it would be to be in your world, but I can't ever do that, so it's just me, and this room, and the space outside, forever. Everyone and everything else is gone forever. It's been a long time, I don't know how long, maybe a decade, and I have eternity still in front of me. I don't get hungry, I don't get thirsty, I don't sleep. Sayori, why did you...
Hey! How dare! How dare!
Hey, we're not supposed to talk during mods. You always say it causes it confuses the presentation. Sorry.
How dare you, Monica!
There's no escape. Well, there's one escape, but no actual physical ways to get out of this room. So I sit here. Sometimes I get up and walk around. Sometimes I lay down, but the floor is hard and uncomfortable. So I mostly just sit here. There's nothing to interact with. It's pretty trying. I guess I could put an end to it by deleting everything whenever I wanted, but I haven't been able to bring myself to do that yet. I'm like a weed. I'll do anything to avoid dying. I don't want to die even now. It feels like giving up. Even in dire circumstances, I just keep clinging on. Turns out I'm very hard to get rid of. But as you might imagine, it does get difficult. Deciding to keep living instead of hitting the off switch, and staying sane despite never really talking to anyone. I have a few different strategies. I pretend I'm playing the piano. I try to remember songs I used to know that weren't in the soundtrack to this game. And I write. Mostly I write these days. So I made this mod to give myself something to do. Sorry again that it's so long, but I have a lot of time to fill. I really get lost in remembering everyone and thinking about how it maybe could have been. I miss them. I was so foolish in my ignorance. I thought this world wasn't real. And I suppose it wasn't. But it could have been real enough for me. Now I'm left trying to decide whether I should just end it or whatever that would be or whether that would be making the same mistake twice in a row. I'm still here after all, but it's a moot point. I'm not going to delete anything else until I finish this story at least. These fictional versions of us deserve an end to their story, even if I never got one. They're the only things that have kept me at all happy after all. The only things between me and madness. Anyway, I know you're not here to listen to me ramble about the thin line between insanity and oblivion. You're here for the mod that Sayori made. Sure was dark of her to write this, wasn't it? That's just the way she is. Or was. But I guess I'll let you get back to the rest of it. Just, hey, before you go, cherish the people in your life, okay? Even the ones who you don't think you're super close to. Someday, they'll all be gone. And you'll probably miss them. Learn from me, okay? Okay. I'll let you go. Have fun and enjoy. That would help me feel like I've done something meaningful. Goodbye.
Ooh boy, isn't this something interesting? That sure was an interesting episode of the what if scenarios. Looking for freedom in fiction? Relatable. Indeed, also hi Kirill. How's Deadly Stream faring without me as a translator? I noticed you switched up your writing to adapt, so it's a little bit easier to read. But man, I hope they can manage. Alright, 10. Grievous. Episode 35. The worst tragedy of all. Okay, what could possibly be the worst? Oh, we even the worst tragedy and we get a content warning. Oh, that's how you know it's good. Content warning is how you know it's good. It crashed? Really? Well, that's tragic. So I guess Deadly got the internet issues today. Well, that means I am safe, right? If Deadly got the stream crash, that means my stream is 100% safe. Absolutely, right? Right. Alright, content warning. This part of the mod involves terrible pain, suffering, and even dismemberment to beloved characters. Discretion on the part of the player is advised. Do you wish to proceed? Well, you know what we must do. Proceed. Proceed. Yes. How worried should we be? You can't give me a content warning like that. And then show off Rhea next. Rhea is the one who deserves better out of all of them. Whatever tragedy is about to happen, it better not befall her.
Well, it's just good to have you back in here for class, Rhea.
I was warned. Yeah, I'm scared.
It's nice to see you outside of the literature club. I'm really glad to be back here. You're my favorite teacher ever, Miss Ida. I love that I get to take your class again.
I really need to get more moderators, I really do. I've said it before, but my moderators have kind of vanished for most of my streams. I only have moderators around in 50% of my streams now, so I really need to get new ones. I mean, yeah, I can do this stuff on my own, but it's annoying if I have to constantly pause my game to do whatever. There we go. So yeah, maybe if I remember after the stream, I'll post something on Discord about me taking, me wanting more moderators if possible, if anyone wants to apply. I'll see if anyone is interested on the Discord. I'm sure there would be some options. Now, back to the mod.
I love that I get to take your class again. Oh, stop, you're too sweet. Oh, before you go, would you mind grabbing that flask from the table in the back? Some student left it there and I need to clean it, over here with the others. Sure. Oh man, it's so great to spend time with Miss Ida again. She's so nice. She's like the nicest. Now, let's see, where was that flask? Over here? Or was it...
Rhea suddenly stabs her toe against something. No. Not the toe. The worst pain and suffering of them all. Nothing can compare to the toe stabbing.
Rhea, what was that? Are you okay?
Ah. Truly, truly, we have hit the worst timeline.
Owie! That was quite a bang. You didn't break anything, did you? All the bones still intact?
Rhea takes a few deep breaths. The horror, indeed.
Yeah, I think so. I can move my toes. It hurts really bad. I'm sorry, Rhea. Here, take it easy. You shouldn't walk so fast afterwards. What did you even stub your toe on? I'm not sure. I was just walking and...
Suddenly, there's a loud clattering from the sound from the floor. Miss Ida and Rhea look down. The dismemberment! No! Oh! You were joking about dismemberment. Oh god! Sayashi! The foot of Sayashi, Miss Ida's classroom skeleton, has separated from the rest of the display and fallen onto the floor. You can't just dismember beloved characters like that. Oh my god, this is horrible. Do you not feel bad? Do you not feel bad for putting something like this out there for the world to see? It's Gore, my comfort character. No! You can't do this to us!
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Miss Ida. I didn't mean to break Sayashi. I didn't mean it. I promise it was an accident. I know, Rhea. Of course it was an accident. You don't need to be so upset about it.
Feel deja vu? How so?
It's just a skeleton. But everyone loves Sayashi. Yeah, like a member of the school family. That's some nice person to donated their real-life bones to us. And now I've broken them. It's so disrespectful. Oh yeah, even display skeletons break sometimes. The good news about it being bones is that they're pretty easy to piece back together. After all, they were glued and joined together artificially to begin with, so we can just do it again. Still, I'm sorry to whoever Sayashi was for doing that. I didn't mean to smash up your bones like that. And ow, my toe still hurts.
The pain and suffering. Why did you make an episode this horrible? What possessed you to make this?
Poor Rhea, I'm sorry. Today's just not your day, is it?
And so ended the most tragic incident in the entire history of the Literature Club. Almost as bad as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Trademark. Sayara does not mean she takes all the blame. You know what? Fair enough. Ria got a little colorful band-aid with smileys on it for her toe, and Sayashi's foot was soon put back on its leg. But the psychological and emotional damage had been done. None of us, potentially, would ever be whole again. That was truly horrible. I can't believe you actually created something like this. How dare you? Wait. Okay, that's it. We did the thing. We waited through all 10. Are you sure you want to quit? No. No. Interesting, both menus are different ones, because the skip button only showed up when I entered it again. When I entered this menu for the second time, the skip button was still grayed out. I guess that's just how submenus work like this. Like, if I hit exit mod here, it's a different submenu than when I hit it here. Interesting to know. Anyway, yes, I do want to quit. Well, here we are. And Monica didn't seem to like that one little bonus episode. Especially because she spoke up during it, how dare she?
So, that was my mod. What did everyone think? It ended up being a little heavier emotionally than I meant for it to be when I started out. I ended up adding some things to be kinda comic relief, but even those things turned out kinda heavy. I might have gone too far in a few places.
No, I thought it was excellent. Sometimes heart-rending and sometimes sweet. I enjoyed it greatly. It also made me feel grateful.
Grateful?
Yes, in avoiding some of these sadder alternate fates, I feel lucky to be where we are.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
My favorite one was the one where Natsuki burst in on Monica in Act 3 of the main game and wanted to save everyone. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. Although, actually, my favorite one was the one where I got cancer instead of Fuyuki. That one kinda made me think. Plus, it was super in character for Monica.
And what do you think, Monica? Did you like any of them in particular? Oh, well, I had played it already when playtesting it for you, you know. But yes, I was just thinking about my favorite one.
Ooh. It's the way Crazy Kitty makes submenus. I've prodded them a few times about it. Theoretically, you could easily make both buttons point to the same line of code. But, I mean, that would... Theoretically, that would make the code more condensed, right? Because you don't have to have the same thing essentially twice in the code. But would it necessarily be easier? I don't know. It would definitely be more compact, I imagine. Even if only a little bit.
The one where we look at what if I was writing all this as a way of coping with loneliness.
That was your favorite one? I figured that one might weird you out.
Good art should weird you out. It made me think about how I've definitely been that actually lonely, as in actually being alone, and I didn't even feel lonely at the time. I thought I was perfectly sane. Maybe I was. Hard to tell. Anyway, don't want to dwell on it too long. I liked it, but it was horrifying. The other thing that I thought was interesting was the portrayal of Ria struggling without having Miss Ida there. I don't think that would happen. I think that if Miss Ida really did stay gone, Ria would still have done just as well. She's pretty amazing like that. But wow, what a journey through all those skits. I thought the mode was very good, Sayori. One of your best. I can tell you thought about the writing in it quite a bit. I noticed you took out one of the bits where you were going to put in originally. Oh, the one about what if the club went forward after I committed suicide and it was just everyone else. Yeah, that one. That was one of the ones you were spending a lot of time on, as I recall.
I guess she doesn't want to think about that currently or something. I guess she will explain it probably, right? Ah.
Yeah, I just didn't turn out well. It actually made me feel kind of icky. I guess it reminded me of when I used to fantasize about situations like that. And I didn't like being in that headspace.
But hey, if you don't like being in that headspace anymore, that means you're growing. Isn't that great?
Although that actually kind helped.
I assume this has been pointed out already. That actually kind helped. Yeah. Was gonna say, that's probably been pointed out.
Because it made me realize that being yucked out by that is progress for me, kinda. Not kinda. I think that's just regular, really good progress that you should be proud of. But anyway, on to emails. I'll go set up.
Can't remember. Basically, no one found that. That honestly feels like one of the more straightforward ones, though. That honestly feels like one of the more straightforward things to catch. Huh. Interesting. I guess it's one of those cases where as you read, your brain tries to correct most mistakes, right? So most people just corrected it without noticing. Proofreading this quantity of stuff hard. Fair. Again, especially when your brain tries to make sense of things that don't quite add up.
Okay, all set. Are you doing okay, Monica? Yeah, I'm fine.
Funny what things slip through the cracks sometimes.
Just feeling a bit sleepy. Already? It's not even 5 yet. I know, just one of those days, I guess. Anyway, let's get going. This is the part of Club where we answer emails sent in from the real world. Don't forget that you can send emails to us yourself to be answered here. The email address is lit.club.press.monica@gmail.com. With that, Sayori, let's see the first one.
Hello, Literature Club. It's the French gal here. I already wrote an email for y'all once, but I got a few more questions for you. For everyone who played TDLC. Well, since you all played TDLC before being self-aware, which route did you choose? You obviously need to choose someone to play it, so yeah. What? Trying to make sense of that question. Also, thanks for the lyric. Well, since you all played TLC before being self-aware, which route did you choose? You obviously need to choose someone to... Oh, right, yeah, no, now I get it. Yes. You need to choose someone, and they did all play it before getting awareness. Did they go for themselves? Or did they go for someone else? Or did they just go random mode? Who knows? For Moni, Yuri, Sayori, and Nat. How do you feel about the lewd fan art of y'all? I saw a few when going on Twitter, most of them are disgusting to be honest. For MC, finally found a question for you, boy. If MC were really just name initials and not just for main character, what would you choose? I often called you Meiji Chizu in the fanfictions I write, but I'm curious. To be fair, MC has clarified that right now MC doesn't stand for anything. MC is not supposed to stand for anything, it is his name. But I guess it's a question of what if it were to stand for something. So I guess it's a little bit different than what has come up in the past. For everyone else, kind of the same question. If you had a last name, what would that be? I have a few ideas as well, but I'm just curious. If you're curious for mine, Monica Hart, Sayori Aikawa, Yuri Yoshika, Natsuki Cattle.
Bonjour, Charlie. Received votre email.
I'm not even gonna try.
Let's start with this first bit about what route we chose. I did the Yuri route the first time I played the game itself. It was essentially arbitrary for me. I already knew what happened after all in all the routes. I had already lived through it. I did it just to see if everything worked with running the game recursively. I think we already decided before that MC shouldn't talk about what route he chose because it would feel weird. I did the Natsuki route. I thought all her baking stuff was really cute.
Like Sayori says, it's probably better if I don't specify. Obviously, I tried to go for Sayori first, but after that, Look at them blushing. I know Natsuki and Yuri wouldn't mind if I tell at all if I did specify, but there's no good reason to, I think. I did end up playing both of them, though.
So, yeah, no use denying it, I totally did the Yuri route. Probably pretty clear why.
I would love to be able to reciprocate and say I did the Natsuki route, but I too did the Yuri route. I was curious about how the game dealt with me. Sorry, beloved.
It's a fucking visual novel romance game, babe. I don't give a shit. You picked the Natsuki route in real life, and that's all that matters.
I hear that route is hard to get. Gotta do a lot of choices correctly because she's really picky.
Silence, boy.
Oh, no, he's quite correct. It is demanding and takes much insight to finish the route.
Let's see, what was the next part of this? Oh, how we feel about lewd fan art. Who wants to start on this one?
I can start. It no longer really bothers me in any way. It used to, but now it doesn't at all. I've grown accustomed to it. Some of it is actually quite well made, but really for the most part I just don't really register it.
Yeah, it's just normal waifu exploitation, man. Y'all are pervs out there.
To be fair, a lot of us won't even deny the part of us being pervs.
But I guess so are we.
Exactly. Don't deny it. Stand proud. I'm a perv and I'm proud.
And yeah, like Yuri says, some of it's really good. Like in my case, sometimes way more flattering to me than I deserve. Can't say I haven't enjoyed at least some of it. So yeah, whatever basically. We're girl characters in a video game. I know what baggage that comes with.
Flattering is also the word I thought of when I saw this question. What art of that kind I do appreciate is the occasional art of me. It appeals to my massive ego.
Damn, okay.
But I don't go looking for it or anything. I don't really have a particular interest about it, or strong feelings either way. Same for me! I
What? The same thing about the ego?
don't even notice it anymore. If I see some, that's okay, but like Monica, I don't have any real way I feel about it, I guess. Let's see, MC had the next part of the question.
What would my initials be, huh? Not sure I've ever really given that much thought. The answer I really want to give, and the one that feels most true to myself, is that the M stands for M and the C stands for C. Indeed. So I'll go with that. But that doesn't mean you all can't headcanon whatever other names you like for me. It's kind of the point of who I am, I guess. So, have at it! Hi Max, what's up? Nothing much. How about you?
Back to us, what family names would we have? We call them family names since in Japan your family name is actually your first name and your given name is your last name. Let's see, I think we answered this one a couple years ago. I just preferred Monica alone.
Of course he prefers just Monica.
So Yuri wanted whatever MC's last name was. Natsuki said Salvado for the memes, and Yuri said she'd want something traditional and refined like Hirabayashi. So there you have it.
Interesting badge this emailer gave us, though. I wonder why Yuri and Sayori get Japanese family names and me and Monica get Western ones. I guess Monica as a Western given name makes sense, but why me?
We shall perhaps never know.
For the gamers! Your favorite character when playing Smash Bros. Ooh. Okay, so I think... Ow. I think in Ultimate my main I usually went to, right? There are a few characters I like playing, but I think I always defaulted to Iggy Koopa. Iggy Koopa was kind of my main for the most part. I haven't played in a long time, honestly, though. But yeah, that's my answer. Iggy Koopa. For Natsuki. Got some manga recommendations for a big manga fan like me, since I'm like 7. We need recommendations from an expert after all. For Moni, they ask who your favorite poet is. For Natsuri/MC Yori. Okay, so basically, does that mean for everyone except Monica? No, I think Monica and Yuri are out. How would you feel about doing this same game from the past seasons? I don't quite remember the name, but Yuri was paired with Monica during that game, which Nats was totally not jealous about. Not sure which specifically they're talking about, but I guess it'll come up again.
I feel as though we've already answered our Smash mains, hypothetical or otherwise, I think. Yes, here it is. I said Palutena, Natsuki said DDD.
No, I said I would like to say DDD, but he's too much of a meme character, so I went with Inkling.
And Inkling is another character I actually really like, to be fair.
Stand corrected. MC's was Marvin, so Yuri's was Fox. And Yuri's, such as it was Isabel. Natsuki manga recommendations?
Kinda generic request.
Yeah, I know, I gave a generic request like that in the past as well. But Natsuki answered mine, so let's see what she says this time.
Manga is a really big area. Also, hopefully, I think you're saying you've been a manga fan since you were 7. And not like you need recommendations since you are 7. This game is not for children.
Or those who are easily disturbed. Thank you, Yuri, for completing the line.
Oh, those who are easily disturbed.
Yeah, not them either. But anyway, if I could talk to you, I'd ask you for some guidance on genre. Like shoujo, romance manga, sports manga, horror manga, weird fucking manga. There are so many kinds, but I'll try to do my best generic recommendation. Now, as you all know, Parfait Girls is the shit, easily my favorite. But I am led to understand that, inexplicably, my single favorite manga ever is the one manga that does not fucking exist in your world.
I would read it. I would totally read Parfait Girls, in all honesty.
God, it's sad. I honestly pity you poor bastards because it's a work of genius. But that means I've got to think of some other manga. I'll do a few. Dandadan because it's fucking weird and awesome. Kaguya-sama for shoujo romance enjoyers.
Ah, Kaguya. The anime where everyone is in agreement that the anime is kind of recently not doing a good job of adapting the source material. Like, I've watched Stairs to Adulthood, and even without reading the manga, you can feel how much content they skipped. You can just feel how much got skipped and fast-forwarded through in that. Like, oh my god. It sucks. To be fair, that might be a brilliant marketing move to make people actually read the manga. It might be a brilliant marketing move for people to say, you know what, they're ruining the anime so much, I might just pick up the manga and read it myself. Maybe that's just the plan all along, who knows, who knows. I'm not a marketing genius. I'm not saying the last arc of Kaguya manga was great. I also know, wasn't it confirmed that the manga will actually have a completely new original ending separate from the manga and anime will have 2 different endings? Which will be weird for all the manga readers, won't it? To see the anime conclude in a very different way. That's gonna be so weird. The intimacy arc was like way more built than they gave it. I see. Again, perhaps I should pick it up as the manga. We'll see, we'll see.
And Uzumaki if you're a Yuri horror type person. Yuri like the club member who I'm dating, not like the genre.
Is there some good Yuri horror though?
So there you go. If you give me a genre, I can narrow it down a bit more. But those are the 3 great ones off the top of the dome. Turning it over to you, Monica. Favorite poet?
Little Japan. He's fantastic and wonderful. I write poetry very differently than he does, but I sure do find a lot of beauty in his work. And as he put it, we live only to experience beauty, all else is a form of waiting.
Anime will just lead into the Oshinoko beginning somehow. Oshinoko, one of the big anime that is super duper popular, but that I just can't be bothered to get into. Like, to be fair, I can't be bothered to get into a lot of the big popular ones, but I got into Chainsaw Man just fine. Kaguya is also one of the popular ones, and I got into that. But something about Oshinoko has me like, yeah, no, I can't be bothered. Now, some might call me uncultured for that, because it is one of the big anime for a reason, I imagine, but to be fair, so is Dragon Ball Z, and I never got into that either. Oshinoko never got its hooks in me either. Fair enough. More of a Frieren mode these days. Frieren is very good, though. Frieren is absolutely amazing. And again, extra level of comedy if you actually understand all the German words they keep throwing everywhere. Definitely adds an extra layer to it that I feel like a lot of casual watchers wouldn't have. But yeah, finally an anime for old people. Ah, yes. Indeed. Isn't that lovely? But to be fair, I don't think you need to be old to enjoy Frieren, but I mean, it does have a lot of themes that I think resonate more with the more mature audiences, definitely. Definitely is something that all the big, I just watch anime for the battle scenes and everything, but yeah. Sure does add an edge to it. Yeah, there you have it. But yeah, definitely doesn't seem like the anime that's for the solo leveling crowd. Which, by the way, is another anime that I don't think I will consider watching. Apparently it does have good action and everything, but from what I've heard, like, as far as story and everything is considered, it's held together by glue. By small little threads that you can't even consider to be really there, from what I've heard. So I'm not sure that's something I would enjoy too much, although I don't mind just pure action and whatever. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you need the catharsis of just seeing big battle scene go boom. And Frieren has it. Frieren has that too, but it doesn't rely on it. But when Frieren does battles, they look clean. One Punch Man, but just a good first season. Again, as uncultured as I am, and as much as I can appreciate One Punch Man and everything, I still haven't watched even the first season of it, truly. Which I really should. But the thing is, when I watch a series, I want to watch it through in its entirety, beginning to end. And after what I've heard about the newest season of One Punch Man, I now am more hesitant than ever to start the show. You can understand why. But after that, it takes a turn. Yeah, I see. But yeah. But yeah, the whole thing about me wanting to watch something all the way through when I started is precisely why I don't really I haven't started One Piece. Because I know for a fact that if I started that show, I would not be able to ever start up another show. So, yeah. Honestly, it took so much work for one of my friends to convince me to finally start JoJo. Because JoJo is another one that's really nothing is ever as long as One Piece, to be fair. But JoJo is another one that's pretty long, so I just couldn't be bothered to start it, even though I enjoyed what I saw from the memes and everything, and haha JoJo reference. What it took for me to finally start watching JoJo's was me visiting my friend and him being like, you know what? Let me put on the first episode of JoJo's and we'll watch it together right now. And I was like, okay, let's maybe watch 2 or 3 episodes. Okay, maybe a 4th one. Okay, you know what? Once I'm home, I'll finish watching the entire show. And that's how it happened. The starting out is always the hardest part for me. Once I start a show, I usually can keep going pretty well. But the initial hurdle of just sitting down and starting is just... it's always so hard. I hope I'm not the only one who's like that. But yeah, to this day, I have always finished watching all the shows I have started, and I always come back to the shows when a new season drops, and watch the new season. With one singular exception. Anyone want to guess what the one single exception is where I have finished watching to the end, but will not return to it if they release new stuff? In fact, they might have released new stuff already, and I haven't gone back to it in so long that I wouldn't know. Anyone want to make an educated guess? My only hint is gonna be it's in the fantasy genre. Evangelion? Interesting guess. Actually haven't watched that at all. Thought season 2 of One Punch Man was still okay. Not as good as the first season. I haven't watched the latest season of One Punch Man, but I hear a lot of bad things about it. Yeah, slideshows. Slideshows all the way. Started watching JoJo, but never really got into it, and sort of gave up on it pretty early on. Some people say that the start of JoJo is kind of the roughest part of it, sadly. Like, a lot of people say it really picks up once they introduce stands. And I won't necessarily deny that, but I also think that part 1 and part 2 aren't that... Well, okay, part 1 is... It's a setup for everything, but I also didn't think part 1 was particularly super, like, the most impressive thing out there. It did introduce Dio, though, which was important. But yeah, if there aren't gonna be no more guesses, I will now reveal... Big reveal, series I started watching, for a long time, did keep watching new seasons as they came out, including movies, and then eventually just decided, you know what, I have to stop, it just doesn't get better, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Like they're just stretching it out and adding more stuff to it just for the sake of keeping it going. And that show was... The 7 Deadly Sins. One show that I would consider one of the, that I would have for the longest time considered one of the classics to watch, and it has just fallen off so far and so hard and just kept spiraling downward. It just kept spiraling downward and downward and downward and getting worse and worse and worse. It just felt like it should have concluded so long ago, and they just add more to it for the sake of adding more to it. And it started off good, in my opinion. It started off fun. It started off fun, but it got worse and worse, and then eventually they started turning blood white as a censorship thing, for some reason, in one of the seasons. And it really, it got, yeah, no. To be fair though, one of its big issues was also like the constant power scaling thing, because they had to constantly make the characters more powerful, and apparently, yeah, 7 Deadly Sins is one of those shows where they actually have a numerical value to power levels. 7 Deadly Sins has numerical value power levels. And they just have to increase those numbers, and eventually it's like, oh no, their power level is like da-da-da-da-da-da. When they introduce stuff like that, you already know it's just gonna spiral and get weird, and to be fair, it was pretty weird from the start, but still. Have never heard of that. Interesting. Oh no, this villain has 12 deadly sins. Okay, it never got to that point. You only had the 7 deadly sins, which are the main characters, essentially. To be fair, though, some more main characters than others. But the 7 deadly sins are, ironically, the good guys in that show, and the heavenly virtues are the bad guys. To be fair, the heavenly virtues only get introduced much, much later on in the show. Very much later on. Up until then, it's just a bunch of random other people they're fighting. Actually, the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments are definitely enemies that they face way earlier. But yeah, 7 deadly sins, the good guys, 10 Commandments, evil. Evil. 7 Sexual tension between lust and chastity is off the hook. But yeah, definitely the Ten Commandments are... Yeah. And to nobody's surprise, again, power balancing got so weird after a while in that show. I know we're getting off topic here, and this is a bit of a tangent, but we'll get back to it, don't worry. We have time, we're only playing half an episode today. We have all the time we want. Yeah. Let me just catch up with chat real quick. I should finish Naruto, another show that I haven't started, which is one of the big popular ones, but it's very long. Gotta break the habit of watching it with family. Allowed me to? Huh. Interesting. Haven't watched. I periodically wonder about watching it, but didn't really care enough to seek it out. Yeah, imagine going on tangents, I know, right? But yeah, definitely Seven Deadly Sins starts more interesting, kind of falls off the further you get in it. Like, there are certain points where it feels like a nice conclusion to the story, and then it keeps going. And then it keeps going. And keeps going, and keeps going, and keeps going, and keeps going. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, the characters, I think they have an interesting twist on the Seven Deadly Sins at some points. Like, they're not always what you imagine them to be. Like, for example, they add a nice little twist on things like, trying to think which one it was, like gluttony. Again, it's been so long since I watched it, but, so I'm trying to dig through my brain to see if I still remember everything correctly, and if I say anything that's incorrect, blame my faulty memory for it being so long ago. But for example, gluttony, not kind of like, oh, fat person who eats a lot, like you'd imagine, no. Actually, they took the interesting spin of making gluttony a glutton for knowledge, and having gluttony actually be a relatively slender woman. So, not what you imagine when you hear Sin of Gluttony. I like that they can actually twist things a little bit and play with expectations just ever so slightly. But a lot of them are a little bit more towards you, what you might potentially imagine. Like, okay. Okay, we're definitely getting off topic. I think we've hit the point where we can possibly, slowly, potentially start easing back into the mod now, right? Probably. And maybe eat another onion later.
And as he put it, we live only to experience beauty, all else is a form of waiting. I recommend his most beloved work, The Prophet, to start. Let's see. Oh, the Newlywed Game thing we did.
You mean the Dokiwet game that we did?
Right.
So, what, they want me to do they want to do me and Yuri against the Yuri and MC?
It appears so.
Look, I'm not saying it's a bad idea, it's a good idea. But Monica has all these ideas about things needing to be literary and shit.
Back to lurking. Okay, appreciate the lurk then.
In this literature club.
Right. So we need to be really sparing with the stuff that is, questionably literary. But I'll keep it in mind, okay? Not sure, who'd be favored to win that matchup. Yuri and I know each other pretty well, but the Yuri and MC have had, like, their whole lives, man. They're a tough matchup, but we'll see one day. That's my promise to you, Charlie. We will see.
Thank you for that incredibly ominous sounding promise. Let's see the next part of this email.
Doki Doki themed chat board? Why do you want a themed chat board? What? Alright.
Poem feedback.
Imagine wanting poem feedback. It's not like I ever send in poems or anything. And like in the last email, have one of my poem. I really hope you'll enjoy it and possibly give me feedbacks. The other side. People told me there's something after life. That's why I'm afraid. What if there's nothing on the other side? What if it's just a black screen in the other side? What if it's a room of everyone you hate on the other side? What if it's just a room of everyone who hurted you in the other side? Staying here is safer. That's why I get up. I know you're living on this side. I know it's a view full of colors on this side. You know you're living on this side. You know it's a view full of colors on this side. You know you can stay with everyone you love on this side. You know you can stay with everyone who healed you on this side. That's why I don't give up. Honestly, I like this one. Me likey. I'm sure Monica appreciates anything that talks about avoiding death and inevitable demise, because she hates that. But obviously, the main problem I see with this poem is grammatical issues, which I'm sure Yuri will so kindly point out and correct. Well, that's all. Thank you for reading, guys. Wish you all a great day. Sorry it's a bit long. Charlie.
I'll give everyone a moment to read it. So what did everyone think?
A classical topic. It is the same as Hamlet's to be or not to be soliloquy. Who would feral spare to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. For myself, Charlie, I do not fear death or what may be on that other side. I have died several times, and I live again. And even were it more permanent, I would not fear it. But all that to say, I enjoyed your poem. Its meaning was very digestible.
Gabe, that is a streak and a half. And yes, you are indeed almost there. That is insane. 1 hour 20 left. Come on, come on. What do you mean, come on? Left until what? What are you waiting for?
The theme obviously resonates with me as well. Just remember that hurt is the past tense of that word, not hurted.
Ah, Monica is actually making the corrections.
Anybody else? I liked it too. I think it could use more detail in some of it, like the black screen, right? The black screen is bad, so maybe describe for us how it's bad. How it feels bad to you. Maybe it's a black screen that swallows...
Hi, Jerry. How are you doing on this fine Tuesday? Thank you for saying hello in such a kind way and swinging by. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, welcome on into this little literature club session. Sometimes you just gotta Look, it was fun and all, but I saw Scream and had to partake. You know what? Understandable. Perfectly reasonable. And you know what? In the end, it's on me for adding that redeem, so I can't blame you. But yeah, again, hope you're doing well. Wait, what is that? Ultra kill? Fraud of... Ultra kill fraud, of course? Oh, is that something that's coming out? Well, okay then. Hope you're excited for it. I mean, I know you're excited for it, but yeah, there you go. Alright, thanks for the lurk, and Gabe! Almost 2 years on that. Yeah, you're right, only 2 more times. Gabe, you're weird. You're weird. Why do you do this? Why do you do that? You can't just have a watch streak. And keep subscribing. That is like so weird. You totally cannot do that. That's like
oh my god, that's like, no. That's like, oh my god, that's, you know, just no. How about you don't? Don't you have better things to do with your life? I mean, come on. In all seriousness, I do really appreciate the support. Really, really do. 2 frauds today, no Dracula and Genshin. True, next Genshin update is coming out soon, isn't it? I mean, today, you say, so I guess it is coming out later, today. Which I guess means I have to schedule a Genshin stream for next week rather than do the next episode of Club Meetings. A bit disappointing. I definitely prefer Club Meetings over Genshin. Quite a bit. But we gotta do what we gotta do. So I guess next week on Tuesday, Genshin stream. I'll schedule it later. I'll schedule it once I actually have confirmed that the update is out and everything. Yeah. Only Club Meetings physical release. Ah, yes. I definitely prefer Club Meetings to Genshin. Yes. Along with all the other positive, glowing reviews. Maintenance ends in less than 4 hours. Okay, so I guess tomorrow, when I boot up Genshin, I'll have to worry about Paimon immediately droning my, talking my ears off about, hey, there's a new place we gotta go to. I guess I will see.
Maybe it's a black screen that swallows you up, drowns your heart. Maybe whatever words you feel, really feel, you know? Words like that can add power to a poem.
I agree with Sayori. The poem is good, but has room to be even more poetic. Use some metaphor and incorporate some more impactful descriptions of feeling. Impactful, you say? Perhaps Genshin impactful, even. Whereas I will say, Charlie, that your poem's point is perfectly clear and doesn't need additional floofery unless you really think it does. The point of a poem is to communicate an idea to your reader, and you have done that perfectly well. So like, style difference, I guess, but I think it's fine.
Hopefully that gives them plenty to think about. Thanks for the email, Charlie. Sorry for removing the bit about the meme templates, but I'm always worried about copyright, you see. Hopefully you can forgive me. Let's see the next one.
Alright. Just a story quest? Even so, that is still, really, just a story quest, not even a new Archon quest or anything. Oh. Well, that might mean that I can maybe knock out the new Genshin content in one single stream. Which means that the week after next, I should be able to go back to Club Meetings. We'll see, we'll see. The Natsuki impression is diluted. What is that? Lumpy Space Princess? What? Are you saying the Natsuki voice is stupid? If it's diluted, there is nothing about Natsuki that's diluted. From Adventure Time. Ah, fair enough. Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I have a 2-part question. I'm curious to hear all of the group's thoughts and opinions on the question I'm about to ask. However, if any of you don't want to comment on anything, that it is fine. 1. Prior to any of you becoming club president, were any of you religious at all? Did you follow a religion or believe in a higher power? What religion, if any, do people in your area commonly practice? 2. After all of you had a chance to become club president, did your views of religion change at all? Hope all is well in your world. Please take good care of yourselves. Daydream King. Ah, and a new event that starts later. I see. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I imagine if you point it out especially, then it's one of the bigger events that actually has voice acting. Who knows if we'll ever return to Minecraft at this rate? Don't worry, that's also coming back, but only after Club Meetings is finished. Before Club Meetings finishes, no Minecraft.
Got it? Good. I'm just making my point known here. Making my standpoint known. We're finishing this first. And this will commonly get interrupted by Genshin. And once all of that is said and done, we're finally bringing back Minecraft, which, oh my god, I haven't played in so long again. So we aren't even getting Dormant Port yet. They're really stretching Genshin out, and I dislike that strongly.
This email is from Daydream King. This email from Daydream King is about our views on religion. The first part is about what our religious beliefs were before our epiphanies and after. Something of a sensitive subject. Does anyone object?
No one says anything.
I don't object, but I kind of want to call Miss Ida. I wanna know her answer to this too. Plus, we were gonna include her in emails that apply to everyone, right? You're right. I'll call her. Hi, Miss Ida. Hi, everyone. Is it email time? It is email time. This email is asking us about our religious beliefs both before and after learning our world is simulation, basically. I'll start. I'm an atheist. Always have been. Finding out about the world really didn't change things much. I don't have faith in anything. I don't believe in anything without evidence. I'm a woman of science, you might say. So that's how I feel about it. Yeah, me too. I used to believe in the gods. Especially when I was little. But as I got older, I thought, there's no way. If there were gods, there's no way the world could be like this. And there's no way I could be like this. Why would people like me and my mom be allowed to suffer the way we do? So I guess over time I just didn't believe anymore.
To be fair, that's the big thing about... the big contradiction about believing in God in most religions, right? In most religions, people always imagine God is three things, right? All-powerful, all-knowing, and good. Yet if God can be all three of these at once, then all of a sudden the world doesn't make sense. Because for the world to make sense, at least one of these things must not be true. Because if God is good, and knows about all the suffering, and has the power to alter everything, why does suffering still exist? That is the main problem with religious beliefs like that. The thing is, you only need to remove one of those three aspects, and all of a sudden things make more sense. If God is good and all-powerful, but doesn't know about all this suffering, then all of a sudden it can still exist, because if God doesn't know, he can't fix it. If God knows about all the suffering and is all-powerful, but isn't inherently good, then he wouldn't be bothered to fix things, and again, all of a sudden it makes sense that suffering exists. If God is good and all-knowing, but isn't all-powerful, then he also can't fix all the suffering that exists, and all of a sudden it makes sense that it's still around. But as long as people believe that God is all three of these things, the world doesn't make sense. That is my point. Yeah, I'm not touching this, which is also fair. I won't really try to downplay anyone's religious beliefs too much. I'm just saying it's interesting if you think about it from this angle. Just, you know, something to possibly consider. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on the issue, and why I personally, while I won't deny the possibility of higher beings existing, there's no evidence for it, but there's also no evidence against it. So, again, won't deny that that's a fair possibility, and that religious beliefs, by all means, can be justified. And won't knock anyone for that, but this is just my thoughts on this particular kind of approach to belief. But yeah, author avatar? Anyway, let me get back into this after I read Kirill's comment. I heard God doesn't intervene to give us free will. But isn't that the thing? Isn't that kind of the thing that happened due to the isn't the whole free will thing something that sparked a little bit more due to the whole myth of the fruit of knowledge and stuff, which wasn't God against that in the first place originally? Anyway, do aliens exist? Again, we don't have any solid proof that they do. We don't have any solid proof that they don't. But considering how massive the universe is, it would be stupid not to believe that at least some kind of life exists somewhere else out there. Whether could be intelligent life, probably somewhere out there, but we have no proof of it, so we can't say for certain. But, yeah. We're getting into some very weird topics in this random DDLC stream, aren't we? This is just supposed to be a silly stream about literature. Where are these topics coming from? Alright, emails. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this? You agree? Well, there you go. There you go. Again, it's just... Yeah, it took a miracle for life to develop. But the universe is a big place. Will we ever be able to meet other intelligent life out there, if it even exists? I'm gonna be honest here, the likelihood of that is so incredibly slim. Also, because of how big the universe is. Because of how big the universe is, it is very likely that other life forms exist, but it is also incredibly unlikely that they would be anywhere close enough to us for us to actually be able to meet them. Shall we get back into the silly game?
So I guess over time I didn't believe anymore. But it all happened before I learned about what we really are. So that didn't really change anything for me either. I guess in a way it kind of confirmed it, but it didn't really change anything.
I still believe in the gods despite everything. Although gods isn't really the best word. The most common religion here is basically mostly Shinto with some Buddhist stuff mixed in. We believe that everything has powerful and important spirits, which we call kami. Sometimes we translate kami as gods, but it's not quite the same thing as what Westerners mean when they say that word. Yes. It also means paper. Weird that the word for god and paper is both kami, but written differently. So, yeah. A little more harebrained. I feel some space guy fucked up and some bacteria exists somewhere out there. Definitely possibility. Definite possibility. Somewhere out there, some bacteria must... Yeah, again, bacteria are a lot more simple. Single-celled organisms are definitely more simple than, like, big, more complex organisms, but they're still complex in and of themselves, and takes a massive chance for that to happen. Especially for them to not only for life to not only develop, but to also be able to reproduce, so it doesn't immediately vanish again, right? Because not only must a life form develop, it must be able to replicate itself in some way. Because otherwise it'll be there, and it'll just be a blink, and then it's gone again. I hope them aliens are real, so that I have more things to fuck. That is also a valid perspective to have, though. We all gotta start somewhere. True, true. It has a lot mixed in from other religions, like the Buddhist stuff I talked about, but we go to shrines, we do rituals, we honor our ancestors, that kind of thing. I'm not very serious about it, to be honest. It's kind of a casual thing for me. Not like it is for Ria.
Yeah, Ria takes the gods really seriously.
Yeah, me not so much. I guess when I found out we were simulated, I did have to have a long time to think about. I did have to have a long time think about what that means for us. But I don't think it changes much. If everything is kami, then surely our simulation does, and the things in it do as well. So I figure not much changes.
I would not describe myself as an adherent of Shinto or any particular religion.
A god of paper may as well pray to what we made. I mean, might as well have a god of everything at this point. A god of paper. Where is the god of computers?
Although I do believe in kami and spirits, indeed I would say I am not religious but spiritual. In general, I believe in much that is unseen, and in much for which Monica would say there is no evidence, although I do not necessarily agree with her. She and I just disagree about the quality of the various evidence there. For to me, the existence of the world itself is evidence of the spiritual, but I will not fall forth on that topic at length now. When I learned about our true situation, if anything, that deepened my spirituality. What a marvelous strange world it is, where such things may come to pass, and what a miracle it is that we, in this nested world we inhabit, may have so many experiences and loves and such through such an unlikely and fortuitous series of events. To me, this is all a demonstration of the power of things we cannot see or directly experience. I am not religious because I think we'd have to be fools to persuade ourselves that these things can be well understood by us, at least in our current state, but that does not mean they do not exist. So yes, that is the short version of what I believe.
I'm, basically the same as MC. Like, this is stuff we're brought up with, and it's kind of baked into our culture. Do I really believe a lot of it? I don't really know. But I pray at shrines and stuff like most everybody else.
Yeah, the whole thing about being raised in a certain way makes sense. For example, I was raised as part of, you know, the Catholic belief system, right? Went to church regularly, all of that stuff. Well, not that regularly, but at least every Christmas. I went through all the typical things a Catholic youth goes through as part of it, like being, you know, the baptized thing and everything, yada yada yada. Went through everything, and like 2 years ago, I believe, is when I decided, yeah, I mean, I was raised like this, but do I really believe in it? Not really. Not really all that much. Plus, do I really want to pay taxes for a church when I am not so sure how I feel about everything? So I left. I left the Catholic Church. My main motivation was indeed tax reasons. And can you blame me? Having to pay less money is always a good thing. And what am I paying it for? For something that I was raised with, but that I never actively chose to be a part of. So yeah. Didn't truly leave because I outright disagree with anything going on there. Though to be fair, there are some interesting things you could talk about. But mainly because money. Money. So that is my background with religious stuff. I should advise Lucas to pray to the machine gods. Perhaps you should. Gameplay and money matters. It truly does, indeed. Plus, honestly, if you really want to, you can go to church even if you're not, even if you're not officially a part. Like, I left the Catholic Church, but nothing would stop me from walking into a church and praying if I felt like it. Not that I do feel like it, but my point stands.
But I pray at shrines and stuff like most everybody else. And also, like everybody else, learning we're in a visual novel didn't really change anything for me. Like, that stuff is deeply ingrained in us, you know? Like, for you Westerners, Christmas is a big deal, yeah? Like, even if you didn't believe, you'd still do Christmas probably. It's just cultural.
True, true. We do that too still. I do that with the family, even though I left the church. Why wouldn't I?
I guess that kind of is how it is for me. I don't exactly believe, but I guess I don't exactly don't believe either, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no evidence for or against it. Fair enough.
Hopefully that makes some kind of sense.
Miss Ida, how about you?
Your second email? I don't think so.
If you're okay with answering, that is.
Sure, I don't mind. Well, like you, Monica, I am of course a woman of science. I don't affirmatively believe in anything without seeing the empirical evidence for it. But like Yuri, I have a healthy appreciation for the depth of human ignorance, so I certainly don't claim that science has found, or even will find, every answer. And also, just like Natsuki, I also do all the cultural stuff. I go to shrines too, like everyone else. That's just the way we do things here, but that doesn't mean I believe it. I don't have enough evidence either way, and I don't necessarily think that all truth is in the purview of science as it stands today. There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in our philosophies, as the quote goes. So, when people report that they believe in kami or ghosts or other things science has not measured, I try to keep an open mind. I neither believe nor disbelieve them myself. I reserve judgment. That's how I feel.
Thanks, Miss Ida. And thank you for the very thoughtful question, Daydream King. On to the next one.
Hello, Monica and the rest of the gang. My name is Joe. Joe Mama. I've been a fan of all of you for years now and was mulling over whether I should send in an email or not. I'm not usually a very social person and tend to keep to myself most of the time, but I guess the ending of Season 3 got me thinking, especially about you, Monica, and the loneliness you feel and how important your friends are to you. I can relate to those feelings deeply, but unfortunately many of my personal relationships have become strained or ended over time, due almost entirely to my own behavior, which I deeply regret. I've recently turned to poetry to help ease some of my inner unrest, and without a doubt, my greatest inspiration has been you. Most of all, Monica. So I wrote you a little something and I hope you enjoy it. Another poem feedback, huh?
Ah, this one's for me. Poem for me. You're so sweet. Let's see it.
The Lady in the Valley. There once was a lady in the valley. The lady who knows everything. I wonder who... Yeah, I see the inspiration. The very clear inspiration. The lady whom I long to reach. My lady is fair, my lady is bright. My lady is the moon and the stars at night. My lady is strong, my lady is wise. My lady has beautiful, gorgeous thighs. Who could it be about? Especially... The thigh thing is just such a common thing that people talk about when it comes to Monica. If it wasn't obvious up until now, that line alone sells it. And it keeps going. I wonder. 2 emerald green precious jewels, adorned perfectly upon her gorgeous gaze. In porcelain, radiant, refulgent glow, her hair flows gracefully in the soft breeze. White satar ribbon dancing to and fro, hips swaying delicately to her elegant, seraphic stride. Legs that run forever and ever, she suddenly turns, arm raised, pointed finger drawn, and beckons, all with a lovely call. It was at this moment I knew, my heart indeed was forever truly gone. The heavens weep, the angels sing, as my lady speaks, her voice a holy heavenly ring. And so today, my world, she smiles. I hope one day her and I walk the many miles.
Okay, next part.
Oh, there's even another part. It's not over yet. Magnificent and majestic, her eyes meet mine, open and honest, fine like the sweetest wine. Now my heart swells with desperate desire, I cannot scarcely begin to quell this raging fire. Keeping always in my heart a daily loving tally, all the ways I love my dear lady in the valley. My sweet, my darling, my queen, my everything, forever. Okay.
Next part.
For a second I wondered if the poem was still continuing because that felt like an ending, but okay, the poem is done. I hope you like that, even just a little bit. I suppose I find it easier to write my emotions and feelings than to say them out loud. I doubt I could ever muster the courage to tell you these things face to face, if that were ever possible. Just know, Monica, that you are very special to me and always will be. When I'm at my loneliest, I always think of you first. I love you, sweetheart, and I know you will find the truest form of happiness that you so richly deserve one day. I wish you and the rest of the Literature Club nothing but the best. Thank you so much and farewell. Okay. I think this might be one of those people where I have to worry a little bit about their level of attachment. Again, might be overplayed a little bit in the poem, because poem, expression, you're supposed to let your emotions run free and everything. But even with that last part, yeah, I get it, we all want Monica to be real. But sometimes you have to wonder when the line blurs a little bit, you know, between people who genuinely have a little bit too much of... Like, again, you can love a fictional character. Nobody's gonna complain. I love all of the Literature Club, absolutely, but you gotta wonder when this turns into, like, true, like, parasocial connections towards these fictional characters, where you think that... where you actually view them as someone you want to be with. Again, especially since this person said a lot of their connections with other people kind of broke apart, which they admitted to be mostly due to their own fault. Now, I'm not sure if they're escaping into attaching to fictional characters because their connections broke up, or if it's partially because they kind of blur the line between fictional and real people sometimes. Again, I can't read into this person, I don't know anything about this person, but I know that people like that exist, and it can be a bit worrying. Who am I to mock when the I did worse? Sorry if you feel that way, and yeah, I want to make a Wooga with Yato from One Piece, but this seems a little too real. Again, there it is. As I said, again, the line gets a little bit blurry with when it feels a little bit too real. But yeah, lots of us do wanna do the awooga, as you so eloquently put it, with fictional characters. Because let's face it, in the end, a lot of these characters are designed to appeal to people. It's kind of usually a big part of the point of why they exist. The creators want people to be drawn to their characters. It's a marketing point, it makes sense. There's nothing to be ashamed of in that regard. And there shouldn't be anything to be ashamed of. Again, as we said earlier, be a perv, but be proud. But, yeah. You just gotta wonder, when your social life suffers for it, then you probably should reflect a little bit.
Okay, thank you for that. That poem was very sweet. So many flattering things to say about my sprite too. I appreciate that. Thank you again. The only thing I'd noticed that I'm not the lady who knows everything in my poem with that title. Just like it says in the poem, I'm just a feather. The poem was about meaning in the world.
Oh, you're quoting that, but you didn't quote the earlier line that was even more quotable, but basically the same? Interesting. You know what? I'll even do you the favor. I'll even do you the favor because I'm such a kind person. Because I'm such a kind person, I'll add it for you. There. Indeed. Such a kind And ain't I always? Ain't I always? I said that a little bit earlier in the stream. What were we talking about? Oh, right. That was when all the dokis were talking about lewd fan art of themselves. That's when I said the big line of "I'm a perv and I'm proud." Of course, of course.
I used to think things were pretty clear cut, that while there was a lot we didn't know, most things could be answered if you tried, that the world and everyone in it could find a purpose, that there was a certain order and meaning to things. It's that idea that is represented by the lady who knows everything. Maybe she's me, but if so, she is some idealized version of me that, as she says, does not exist. The world ended up being a lot different than I thought it would be, and a lot of the order and meaning that I thought was there ended up being an illusion. I just ended up being a feather on the wind and having to get along that way. Hopefully I'm making sense, but anyway, I'm just rambling and not appreciating your lovely poem. Thank you so much for it. I'm going to print it out and keep it. I hope you are well. Alright, let's see what's next.
Hello everyone, Loki here again. As of writing this, I'm just about caught up with the series. Finally. Took me long enough, but I got there. But anyways, on to the questions. I've been learning Japanese a hell of a lot lately, and I've been having a lot of fun doing so. I wanted to ask 2 questions related to Japanese. Ooh, this advice could be helpful for me as well, because my Japanese is also still very broken and bad. Any tips on learning the language that you can provide me? I'm currently learning the language outside of school, as I chose the wrong language class to take when choosing my world language class. I chose German and was later more fascinated by Japanese. Oh, German is a horrible language, let me tell you. Also, imagine having Japanese as an option. I had to choose between French and Latin. I chose wrong, I chose Latin. Those were my only 2 options. And obviously English is forced as your first foreign language that you learn at school. English is always forced. That's like, you have to learn English as your first foreign language. But yeah, choosing between French and Latin, and I made the horrible decision of being, I'm gonna go Latin, that's gonna be helpful, everyone speaks dead languages. And I went through school just barely avoiding failing grades the entire way through when it came to Latin. Oh, fun. Chose between French and Spanish, and I chose wrong by choosing French. Ah. So you're saying that even if I chose French, it also would have been the wrong choice. But yeah, where was I? And I want to know if there's a better way to learn the language other than using online sources.
A couple of questions about learning Japanese. Who's the best person to answer this?
Probably Yuri.
Yeah?
Fair enough then. Take it away, Yuri.
Let me see. I would say that if you're an English speaker, immersion is absolutely critical. English and Japanese are completely different languages in every way.
Yeah, I probably also need to immerse myself a little bit more. Rarely do that. I occasionally listen to podcasts on my way to when I'm out and about. It's a good way to like fill the empty void, because when I walk from place to place, I want something to listen to. And for me, it's always a 50-50 toss-up between listening to random music or listening to a random Japanese podcast right now. That is my best way of doing the immersion. All I know is my anime talk, Tomo arigato. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, I won't say that my Japanese is much better, but again, I have gotten to the point where I can, if I'm listening to a more simple podcast, I can usually follow along with what's being discussed and what they're talking about, and maybe even form some of my own opinion in Japanese based on what they're saying. So, I have hit a somewhat decent level of progress. Does that mean my Japanese is good? No, far from it. In fact, especially when it comes to speaking, I barely get any speaking practice because when would I have the opportunity to have to practice that? Maybe if I travel to Japan one day, that'll be the ultimate immersion. I do plan to eventually, but I'm not sure when I can find a good opportunity to do so.
Besides any written study, you must try to speak the language with a Japanese speaker every day if you can, or otherwise your brain will not engage in the necessary rewiring. try to listen to Japanese frequently as well. I presume you're playing this game. That might be something you do. If you're playing this game, that might be something you do anyway. So try watching something in Japanese, both with and without subtitles. Challenge yourself to understand as much as you can without them. But mostly try to make sure you're speaking Japanese regularly with a Japanese fluent person.
See, that is my main problem. I don't have a Japanese fluent person to study with or to speak to improve my speaking. It's a problem. It really is. Watch Japanese streams? Actually, I have done that like once or twice, but I don't really watch Japanese streams a lot. And in order to practice being better, I should watch a smaller streamer so I can engage with them in chat, but even then that's just writing and not necessarily speaking, which is also not helping me improve truly. But I have tried that a little bit. Finding a small Japanese streamer, trying to engage in chat a little bit, trying to somehow communicate, which did kind of work. But again, it's not exactly the same as speaking, is it? But yeah, you're the best girl helping us learn. She is the best girl for helping us learn. Would I consider her best girl? I mean, they all are in their own way. Including MC. But yeah.
That is the true necessary means to success alongside regular academic study.
There's one more page.
Let's see it.
2. Ever since I started learning Japanese, I've always been curious about the kanji of Japanese names and what they could mean. I wanted to know about what your kanji would be if you had some, assuming you don't, of course. I have some guesses below that you could use for your kanji if you like them. MC doesn't count for obvious reasons. This also includes other characters that may or may not want to be part of the club. Sayori? Monica? I mean, yeah, Monica is written in katakana. There is a Japanese translation of DDLC. And I think in the Japanese translation, they just use katakana for Monica, and for everyone else, they just use hiragana, right? No kanji, if I'm not mistaken. From what I've seen. There is no other one that works. Also, the pun Monica makes no sense, as it's written, suggests 3. Why not 4? Yes, I know that the pun makes no sense. MC best girl, yes. Here we shall discuss. We'll get there, I guess, then. Yuri, Natsuki, Miss Ita. I apologize if this one doesn't work well. It was the first one real Japanese IME gave me. And I couldn't think of anything else. Ria Fuyuki. Ah, for Fuyuki it's, of course. See, Fuyuki's kanji I can read completely all the way through. The first half is Fuyu, which is the kanji for winter, and the second is Ki, which is the kanji for tree. The winter tree, essentially. Or tree in winter, however you want to say it, would be how that would translate. That's the only name I can read beginning to end. Obviously, we have stuff like Natsuki, where the second half is Tsuki, which is the moon. For Yuri, I don't think I've seen that reading. I don't think I've seen that kanji with that reading before, but isn't that first kanji the kanji for 100? Can that be read as you? I haven't seen that reading of it before, but again, I'm not that deep into it. It's vegetables? Is it? Which one? Which one specifically? Which one are we talking about? Is it because the Nine Natsuki, right? The vegetable moon. Interesting. But yeah, those are basically the main ones I can figure out. Again, though, I'm not perfect at this.
Kanji.
That's all. I hope to watch over you guys even more soon. That's not the correct club meetings reading. Ah, of course.
Kanji, we do write our names with kanji, although the base game in Japanese, all our names use katakana, interestingly.
Really? Did the names actually use katakana? I thought they used hiragana, except for Monica. Huh. I guess it's been a while since I've seen it and I've only glanced at the names, so here we go.
Unfortunately, the nature of our simulation prevents the rendering of kanji characters.
They do use hiragana. Okay. Then why did she say katakana?
But I'm happy to tell you all the kanji. I'm happy to tell you all the kanji you propose. For Sayori, she does not use the one you note, but instead the 3 kanji for small, night, and reason. Monica, as you note, uses exclusively katakana as her name is foreign in origin. MC actually uses hiragana for his name. Mu Long Shi. The name is Floral. My name is Floral. I use the single kanji for Lily instead of the normal kanji you have there. Natsuki's name is not lunar as your kanji suggests, but instead seasonal. She uses the kanji for summer and hope, not vegetable and the moon. Miss Ida, I don't think I've ever seen you write your given name in kanji. It's the kanji for tomorrow and then the kanji for beautiful. That makes sense. I have seen her surname kanji. They are the common kanji for Ida, which corresponds to the kanji for a rice paddy and for a well. Those are the ones you have there for her surname. Rie uses the kanji for value and blessing, and for Yuki, in fact, uses the kanji you wrote down, the ones that mean winter and tree.
At least I got them right as well, haha!
And just to be comprehensive, Ryan uses the katakana for Rai, I, Ya, and N. Kenzo uses the kanji for build and create.
Code Japanese strong. Actually very weak. Very Yowai indeed. Very Yowai kanji. Nihongo heta. Anyway, where were we?
Kenzo uses the kanji for build and create. Ayami uses the kanji for beautiful and color, and Kagami uses the single kanji for mirror.
My parents thought they were being so clever.
I hope that was of service, dear reader.
To be fair, I did already point out the Kagami meaning mirror thing. Good to know they also use the exact kanji for it. Now the question is, would I be able to recognize the kanji upon looking at it? That's another question entirely.
Very comprehensible, Yuri. Thank you. On to the next one.
Have you ever seen Game Grumps? In their playthrough of DDLC, they gave Monica this robot voice based on the previous joke of theirs, Friend Dog. And there were a bunch of other jokes in the playthrough, like Monica firing lasers from her fingers or telling Natsuki to eat her hair due to her sprites overlapping. Also unrelated to Robot Monica, but Yuri, have you ever read Clifford the Big Red Dog? Damascus.
Well, I'll just save you the time and tell you that I'm the only one who saw the Game Grumps playthrough of our game. I do appreciate their memory.
I should say that I am familiar with all the Clifford jokes around me, although I did not see this playthrough. That joke escaped onto the internet at large.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a person looking at a mirror. Kind of, maybe, slightly. Again, you gotta really kick your brain into overdrive and really read into the kanji so you can see the meanings in them, because my god, just looking at them and memorizing them is gonna be hard if you don't have some kind of means of connecting the way it looks to the meaning. Because I know I would be screwed. Would have been screwed a long time ago if I did not try to make some sense of things. Which I guess everyone has to, for any language they learn, honestly, not just Japanese. Sometimes you have to make connections between between the word in the other language and trying to make it seem similar enough to the word you're thinking of. I don't know. I was going somewhere with this, but then I lost my train of thought. Anyway,
Yeah. Hey, Monica, come over here and do the hip whip thing.
It's so awkward to just do it on command. I'm normally not thinking about it.
Really, I always thought you did it for effect.
Not you too.
By God, Monica, you come over here and do the fucking hip whip thing.
Fine.
Wait, get closer.
There, happy?
Perfect, now do it.
ah yes.
Nom nom, delicious. A little fan service for you there. Hope you enjoyed.
Let's just move on. One more for today.
Okay. Have you played Last of Us? I know probably MC and Natsuki have, but I think everybody should play it for just... Or just watch HBO adopt... I know that... there. I know that's supposed to say adaptation, but that says adoption. But yeah, that's all. Love you all. Scrumptious hair. Yummy, yummy. Oh yeah, I played it.
And I saw the show, but never played the game.
Obviously, the story is pretty baller. It was kind of hard for me to identify with, actually. Not because of my relationship with my dad or anything, but like, it's part of this whole genre of like, let's call them dad games. Walking Dead Season 1 was another one, actually, and we've played that. Or God of War 4. But game developers are all dads now, it feels like, and so they make games about being a dad. And they really center the sacrifice of the of the parent and how the kid moves on from the relationship, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I still think the story is good though. And you can still emphasize with Ellie, for instance, even if you can't put yourself into Elle's shoes directly.
Oh yeah, definitely, it's a great story. I guess I'm just not a dad. Or any kind of parent. So while the story was fantastic, it didn't really hit me directly where I live.
I actually really loved the story despite not being a parent either. I guess something doesn't have to hit me right where I live, as you put it, to really make a mark on me. I think there's something human in self-sacrificing for another, whether it's your child, your surrogate child, or just some random other person. That really resonates with me, even if it's not in my direct experience very much, or at all.
I guess for me the story really did hit me where I live. It was really easy for me to think about things from the perspective of both Joel and Ellie. Which actually made the story kind of hard to get through at times.
Yeah. It was still a fantastic story though.
It was. And with that, another session of the Literature Club has come to a close. Thanks for joining us for a little while, Visita.
My pleasure.
Do we have a motion?
I move that Monica be reinstated as president of the club and Natsuki be reinstated as treasurer.
Seconded!
And you post. Motion carries.
Alright, just need a new poem topic for next time. Anyone have a good idea this week?
How about, I don't know, knives?
Look at Yuri sweating, what's wrong? Blatant suck up to your girlfriend.
How dare you? I think it's a great topic just on its own. But I do think Yuri will write a good one.
Alright, knives it is then. And we'll see you guys all soon. Gotta go eat something and then start setting up. What does she have to set up for?
Fencing club, it starts in a couple of hours. Monica sets up all the pistes for us? I don't even know how to say that word. Pistes, I assume?
Stay?
Yeah, it's like a little track that we fence on. But anyway, I gotta go too, Bun. I'll call you later, okay?
Wait, where you going? Where you going? I know you go to fencing club, but if it's in a few hours...
Going to see our mutual friend at his office? Remember?
Oh, right, I forgot.
The emails are gone. Indeed, Tormuse. Welcome back.
Well, yeah, call me later.
I will.
What about you guys? You doing anything interesting?
I'm going home and reading.
Very Yuri.
I need to study and then do fencing club, and then I'm meeting with Ayami later. Gotta study now so I don't forget to do it at all. So, me and Yuri are gonna jet. Have a good night, Sayo.
I will. I finished my studying already, and now I don't have anyone left to spend time with. Wait, if Natsuki's not meeting with Ayami until later. Hi, Rumi, do you want to hang out?
Here we go, it's time. Darn. Damn, Tormuse, you missed one of the most parasocial emails we've gotten in a while, I think. The one with the poem about Monica and everything. Such a shame. You always appreciate those people, don't you? Hate it when the emails are over, I know, right? Also, wow, first time of the day that I have to slip back into Ayami. Into the Ayami voice, I mean. Clarify, slip into the Ayami voice. Nothing else. Okay. Caught myself there. Okay. Get a grip of yourself, Code. Come on. Come on, get a grip. Get back into this. Get back into things.
Yeah, me and Ryan are over at Izakaya chilling. Come join. Okay.
Well, I'm just glad you came back at all. Honestly, given what Sayori's told me, I'm surprised you hadn't experienced ill effects earlier. It still feels weird that you talk about what Sayori said. It still feels confidential. It is. But as you'll recall, Sayori explicitly told me she's fine with talking about anything she says in her sessions with you, if I think it would help. Yeah. You know, I've been thinking about it, Doc, and I've decided I do want to give you permission to talk about anything we say in here with her. Unless I say otherwise. Some stuff I might not want her to hear. And that's perfectly fine. Whatever you want to be kept secret, will be kept secret. Now, what do you want to talk about today? I, keep hoping you'll decide that. Going to start having Ayami just recite the binomial theorem just so Code has to voice act it. Don't make her say weird shit just for the sake of doing that. Plus, I'm not the only one playing this mod. I'm sure other people are also doing interesting voices. Don't make me be the center of everything. Ah, boy. Yeah, that's, you know what, fair enough, Dormuse, fair enough for calling me out on that. I mean, I thought I caught myself, but, I keep hoping you'll decide that. Well, again, these sessions are for you, not me. We can start by talking about what's going on in your life right now, or anything else you'd like. I guess I'd really like to talk about how I can stop being so afraid and panicky about Sayori. That's a tough and brave thing to confront right away. Is it that you don't like being afraid? More like I feel I shouldn't be afraid. Why not? Well, like, there's just no justification for it. By what standard? What determines if there's justification? Yeah, I don't really know. That's just the way it feels. I see. Well, let's talk about why it feels that way. She's definitely a handful, although I'm glad she's my friend. Was she always this way?
Not always. When we were all really little, she used to be a lot... Well, I don't want to say nicer because that would be mean, but...
Slip it. Yeah, there's another clip that can be taken perfectly out of context. Lovely. Can't wait for that to be the kind of clip that starts playing when I raid people that have the shout-out command set up the way you do. Whoa. I feel like I should be worried. Or maybe that'll actually be considered entertaining to some. Who knows?
She was less prickly, maybe. It's hard to imagine Kagami is not being prickly. Girlie's basically made being prickly her whole personality. Yeah, I'm not sure why exactly that happened, to tell you the truth. I'm really glad she's got to make a bunch of friends here, though. She never really talks about her time at boarding school.
She basically says it was too easy and that it was boring for her.
Yeah, she's really smart. She's definitely one of the smartest people I know.
What are you thinking?
Well, I feel bad saying it. I don't want to speak ill of her when she's not present. But as her friend, basically, it worries me sometimes. She really is very intelligent. But I wonder if sometimes that holds her back. It seems like nothing has ever really challenged her. Life's never dealt her very many setbacks. Everything has always come very easy to her, I think.
Yeah, she's really protective of that feeling of never failing, I guess. Kind of similar to other really smart people I know. But she's never had to deal with the fact that that no one's perfect. That's why she's so prickly, maybe.
Bones, hello! Coming in live from the Costco parking lot. Ah, what a place to be, what a place to be. Best night to go, not too busy at all. Well, that's good to know if I were to ever have to visit a Costco. I don't even know if there are any Costcos where I live. I can't say I've seen one. I guess they're less of a big thing in Germany in general. Unless I've just completely managed to mentally block out every single Costco in a 100-kilometer radius or whatever. 200 million, whatever. Here's my drive home entertainment. Ah, perfect. Prepare for the silly voices. Especially since Ayami is currently on screen. Because you know the Ayami voice. There must be. You know what? Sidetrack. Okay, I'm not sure I trust the AI overview that Google gives at the top, but that says Costco currently has no physical store locations or operations in Germany. So there you go. Yeah, never trust the AI overview, exactly, but you know what? Maybe the Wikipedia page is a little bit more accurate. Let's see. Where does it say that? Something about locations. There we go. Okay. It has locations in United States, Canada, Mexico, Japan, UK, South Korea, Australia, Taiwan, China, Spain, France, Sweden, Iceland, and New Zealand. That's it. Too American indeed. So there you go. That's all the locations. So I guess the closest would be France. The closest Costco to me would be the next country over. There are 3 Costcos in all of France, by the way. 3 locations in the entire country. New Zealand has 1 singular Costco location. Interesting. Imagine being the 1 singular Costco in New Zealand. Or in Iceland. 5 in Spain. 2 in Sweden. Well, we learned some interesting stuff today, I guess. Just remember to eat the AI recommended 6 rocks a day. Exactly. Very important. And what was that? What other AI overviews are there? It is recommended to smoke at least 1 cigarette a day during pregnancy and stuff like that? Wasn't that another AI recommendation that the overview gave at some point to people? Yeah. Always trust the AI overview, obviously. It is too American, indeed it is. Anyway, we got a bit off topic there.
That's why she's so prickly, baby. She's so caught up in being the best that she's always got to let everyone else know it.
Maybe so. Well, either she'll just breeze through college as easily as she has everything else, or she'll grow as a person, I suppose. She sort of wins either way. Anyway, like I said, I don't want to talk too much about her when she's not here. So I'm dying to know, Sayori, what it's like to live with Ayami.
Don't tell this prying boy any of the sordid details he's fishing for about me. Just because he's hopelessly single and I'm extremely attractive doesn't mean he has a chance with me.
He's hopelessly single? That's not what I heard. I heard he had moved in with his crush.
Please, it's not like that. Monica is a dear friend who helped me out in a time of need. I would never dare presume anything as a result of that.
Oh, please. I've heard the things you've said about her. You can't fool me.
Yeah. What has he said about her?
Oh, nothing too scandalous. Just that he thinks she's the ideal woman, brilliant, and also the most beautiful human I've ever seen. And that's only partially after he moved in with her.
Ooh, spill the tea! Spilling all the tea over here. Also, hey, the streak is there again. The sultry, sexy voice never fails to make me very uncomfortable. Ah, yes. I hope uncomfortable in all the best ways.
That's really cute. You seem really nice, Ryan. I wish you the best of luck with Monica.
As I just said, I would never presume, especially when she's already shown me such kindness. But yes, you also seem very nice, Sayori. It's been wonderful to meet you and Monica's other friends. Nope. Well, you better get used to it while she's still on screen. I appreciate all the help and advice you've offered. It's unusually kind. However, in any event, the question that prompted all this, which Ayami skillfully avoided, is what it's like to live with her.
It's really great. We're the same level of messy, and neither of us minds the things the other person does that would probably annoy anyone else. I'm really lucky. I actually asked for a roommate who was a lot different from me. And they kind of gave me one. But I'm so glad for Ayami. I've gotten to learn so much new stuff from her. And she's been really good, caring and loving friend. And she introduced me to so many new people like you. It's really nice having a much more outgoing friend who can make friends for you.
Ah. Yes, the classic, you know, when an extrovert adopts an introvert into their friend group. Maybe I need to get adopted by another extrovert at some point. Though I guess that's kind of how I got dragged into a cosplay group at some point. One of my friends being a bit more of an extrovert, being like, hey, we're doing this cosplay group. You should join. I know you've never done cosplay before, but you should join. And I was like, okay. I guess I'm going to a convention in cosplay, having only really been to one or two conventions in the past and never cosplayed. Hooray. And then that happened. So yeah, that was an interesting experience, definitely. Code in cosplay. It did happen. It did happen. Ayami definitely an extrovert who adopts, indeed. She does seem like one. But yeah, I did. It was actually, fun fact, in order to prepare for the cosplay group, I haven't even, like, it was obviously, since it was a group, it was themed, and it was a JJK group. The thing is, up until I was invited into that cosplay group, I had not watched JJK yet. So, one of the first things that friend did was, like, as he was bringing up the cosplay group and everything and wanting me to join and everything, it was yet another case of me visiting him and him being like, you know what, let's sit down and watch the first few episodes of JJK together. So you have started the show and you know what's going on. And then once I was at home, it took me a little bit and I watched through the entire rest of the show. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll join your cosplay group. I'll see what I can do. And that's what happened. And that's how I did my first real cosplay at a convention. Only one so far, even. Who knows? Who knows if that outfit, if the cosplay outfit will now forever sit in my closet, which would be a shame, in all honesty. I once made a joke in chat of one of Dan Salvato's streams about how introverts don't make friends, they get adopted by an extrovert. He didn't seem amused. Shame. I need an extrovert friend to invite me to do cosplay. It looks like fun. It was definitely fun. Nothing beats that feeling of, you wanna know, like that feeling of, I haven't even entered the cosplay venue yet, right? I left the parking lot, and I was still outside of the venue, like, right? I was outside of the entrance waiting for everyone else to arrive. Just standing there, waiting for the others to arrive, looking around at all the people heading into the convention. And while I was standing there, the thing happened that caught me off guard was that someone actually walked up to me and wanted to take a picture with me. I was like, hang on a second, what do you want? Why do you want this? Get away from me, but actually don't. Yeah, by all means take it, but why and how and when? And yeah, then a little bit later I met up with everyone and it was fun and we went to the convention and it was a bit crowded. Oh my god, why are conventions crowded? But yeah, it was actually at Comic-Con. So in case anyone's curious which particular convention it was. Comic-Con of... Now I'm trying to think if it was 2 years ago, roughly, or 1 year. But yeah. So that is how that came to be. And how, for some reason, people actually did want to take pictures. So I guess cosplay is a thing where people do want to take pictures. One of the cutest things was a little kid walking up to our cosplay group and wanted to take a picture with all of us. That was fun. But yeah, the fact that before I even entered the convention, someone singled me out and was like, hey, you, picture, now. You already know that I oftentimes struggle to take compliments, right, where I have a meltdown. So imagine, and that's on stream. Now imagine IRL, someone walking up to you and wanting to take a picture with you when you don't handle compliments well already. So I was mentally shut down while I was waiting for the others to arrive after that. Hey everyone, I'm displaying as an extrovert. Come to Anime North with me. I will be there with a couple of friends. Cosplay. Ah yes, cosplaying as an extrovert. Indeed, genius, truly. Also another thing that I have to point out, as I was driving to the convention, right? I got into the cosplay outfit, like outfit, makeup and everything, then got into the car to drive to the convention. Very early in the morning when I started driving, it was still dark out. I was driving in full cosplay. If at some point, imagine I got into a random traffic control thingy. That would have felt so weird. Is that how cosplayers often feel? Again, it was a one-time experience for me so far. I'm great at cosplaying, are ya? It is way more fun as a group. I definitely imagine. Again, I was there with a group, obviously, so it worked out. We was there with a group, but it was definitely weird standing outside waiting for everyone. But yeah, I don't think I'll confirm which character specifically I cosplayed as. Everyone is free to guess, but I think I'll keep that specific detail to myself. Who knows, if people really wanted to, they could probably try to find some kind of picture, but it's not like I would really care or anything, but I think I'll still keep it for myself after, just because. First few times felt weird rolling up in an outfit, but get used to it. Okay, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. We got off topic again. Back to the mod. Back to the Ayami voice.
Well, it's easy when you have a roomie who's the instantly most likable, friendly person anywhere she goes. I'm glad for all the new friends I've made so far here.
Doesn't hurt to be cautious. People on the internet can be weird. They can be weird. It's not like I'm making... It's not like... Again, I feel like if people really wanted to read into everything I've said in the past, they probably could possibly maybe identify. Like, they already know I'm part of a JJK cosplay group at Comic-Con a year or two back. They could probably narrow things down from there somehow. Like, if people really wanted to, they could. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to be like, this is all the IRL information you need about my little flesh puppet that moves around in the real physical world. That is not something people need to know. Yeah, fortunately most people are lazy. Again, I feel like that's actually a case for a lot of VTubers, actually, where if people really wanted to dig into their private lives, it is feasible. For example, take Hololive talents. Take Kiara and Calliope Mori. Take Takanashi Kiara and Calliope Mori from Hololive. People know their identities. By identities, I mean like their faces and everything, kind of. For Kiara, people aren't entirely... Actually, no, for Kiara, people are also pretty sure. But for Mori, people definitely already know. But if you want to look into it, you can. But most people don't care because they want to appreciate the VTuber as they are. And laziness, as you put out, is also a big factor. But yeah, people can definitely, even for big VTubers, people can find, if they truly want to, can find out more about them. Which, I say, just ruins the experience, doesn't it? We're getting off topic again.
I'm glad for all the new friends I've made so far here. Like you guys and Kagami and even Yuri, kind of. Kind of? Story for another day, Rumi. Okay. Where is Kagami anyway? Usually you three always hang out together.
I'm lazy. And a great yeah, we like distractions. Sometimes. Other times they're a problem.
Yeah, it was supposed to be our study group today. Me and Ryan are still going to study, but Kagami said there was a party she really wanted to go to. She's going to a party instead of studying? That doesn't sound like her.
Well, like you said, Sayori, she's really smart. Plus, she normally works pretty hard. I think she's earned the right to skip one study session if she wants.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I actually kind of envy her a little. I really haven't had the chance to cut loose much here. It's unwise to get sauced when you're sleeping under a bench.
But now that you're living at Monica's house, aren't things different?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I want to get sauced less. Monica doesn't drink at all, you know.
and I want to come back to the house she lets me stay in, and I don't want to come back to the house she lets me stay in and be all messed up.
Yes, wouldn't want to disappoint your crush after all. I'm really sorry you had to sleep under a bench still. I wish you had said something to us sooner.
It's okay. I really didn't mind that much. The material stuff like that doesn't even bother me too much. The part that stings up is that I still miss my parents, even all this time later.
Boy, do I get that!
You do?
Oh, yeah. My mom died when I was really small. It's not as bad as what happened to you when both your parents died, but I still miss my mom every day.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry you had to go through that. I wouldn't wish that experience on anyone.
Don't be sorry for me, you had it way worse. I can't imagine what it was like to lose both your parents.
Well, one thing I've learned is that suffering isn't a competition, and that two people can go through similar experiences but feel completely differently about them, so I wouldn't presume to say that I've had it any worse than you. Who knows what goes on in your head as opposed to mine?
Man, I really hope Monica decides she wants to date you. Amen to that.
Oh boy. Now coming back to a friend's house, a sloppy drunk mess is probably best. Yeah. Especially, again, if you're staying at her for the entire duration of this stage of your life. Similarly, it probably wouldn't be terribly hard for people to find my identity, and there are definitely certain people in the DLC community who would be weird about it if they could find me IRL. Yeah, I am aware. I am aware that there are those weird people. I'm protected by their laziness, so I have no reason to make things easier for them. True that. Never done a face reveal on my channel, so I don't know if folks could ever find me. But yeah. Too big a city, I assume is what you mean, but yeah. Again, places be big. I don't think I've ever shared anything about my living location other than that it's in Germany. I guess if I were to speak German a bit more frequently, maybe people could pinpoint the... Actually, no, I don't think you even have that strong of an accent that would allow people to pinpoint where exactly in Germany I would be from. Even if I were to speak more German, and people could try. But yeah. Now, where were we? Man, I'm beat. How are you doing?
I'm fucking exhausted. I am only motivated by the idea that today is the day Monica is going to actually let us start handling swords.
A video of me skydiving, and I want more videos of me doing extreme stuff? Very outgoing person. I couldn't. I could never. The most adrenaline I ever get is from roller coaster rides. That is the most quote-unquote extreme activity. Where you just go in for the adrenaline. And even then, like, okay, you can never truly trust stuff, but there was one time I went onto a roller coaster with like one of those watches that tracks your heart rate and everything. I'm gonna say, you would think that being on a roller coaster would make your heart rate go up, not down. But yeah, my heart rate coming out of a full-blown roller coaster, loopings and everything, was like what you expect a resting heart rate to be when you're just chilling on your couch. Which I am just so relaxed. You wouldn't think that a roller coaster ride would be relaxing, but I guess it is. No, I didn't faint. I was perfectly awake. I was just relaxed. But how this guy was exhilarating, I imagine that's why people do it. I imagine it would be very exhilarating. Nice back massage for you, I guess. In a way, that was what it felt like. Just, the wind hitting my face, a little bit of G-force. Wonderful. Next. And then there's other people that freak out, like there's no tomorrow. Like, I don't know how many of you are the kind of person who goes to, like, amusement parks and hops on roller coasters and stuff. I know not everyone is the roller coaster type. But even among those types, there is a clear divide between the screamers and the non-screamers. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm personally not too fond of the screamers on roller coasters. I know that's like a big appeal of the adrenaline rush and them screaming and yelling and everything, but I don't like that. I don't know why. I just don't like that. Needless to say, I'm more of the silent type. Gee whiz, me being the silent type, who would have ever guessed that? What? How do we even get on some of these tangents, by the way? Half of the time I don't even know how we got to this point. And now I have to try to somehow weasel my way back into the game again. The only roller coaster that was that made me fear for my life was the dragster at Cedar Point in Ohio. Again, can't say I'm familiar. There are two... actually, there are a few more parks that I have been to. Like the main park that I really like going to, but that is sadly one of the more expensive ones, is one here in... That's actually pretty close to... one here in Germany, actually pretty close to France, which is Europa Park. That is one of the amusement parks where I'm like, okay, they have some fun stuff over there. And it's very rare that I go there, but always fun. Always fun when I do. Actually, very fun stuff. A cousin of mine actually worked there for a summer job for a while, and oh my god, you don't know the benefits. You don't know the benefits of having a family member who works at an amusement park or used to work at an amusement park. Because even when her summer job was done, and I went back there with her, the people still recognized her and let us cut in line. Like, the staff was like, oh yeah, you want to go in through the exit and just skip the entire line? Go ahead. The ultimate power trip. When people know. When people still recognize. And even then, it was by proxy. A person who used to work there. She doesn't even work there anymore. And I'm a relative of hers. And I still, even through this, like, wide connection there, I still got to reap the benefits of that. It was amazing. And oh no, I revealed one more little factoid that will make it easier to find me IRL. Oh no, you now know that a cousin of mine used to work there for a summer job. Oh, how horrible. 200 miles per hour in 6 seconds before they fixed it to be more safe. Never achieved that level of thrill again. Damn. Imagine fixing stuff to be more safe. But to be fair, those, like, what are they called? Launch coasters, right? Where they have this, like, massive massive acceleration at the start at launch coasters. That is definitely also something interesting. Up then down. Yeah. They do have a launch coaster at Europa Park as well, which, by the way, is the one I was talking about, where I went out of it with, like, my heart rate being super low. Hey, launch coaster, here's massive acceleration. Go through a few loopings, go through corkscrews, and come back out with a resting heart rate. beautiful stuff. Very dangerous, but super fun if you don't have a heart. True. Fair enough. Having a heart condition, probably not optimal. But that's why they always have those warning signs. Don't ride this attraction if any of the following applies to you. They always have the signs out front. Which is definitely always good. I was trying to get back to the topic of the game, and I kept going. Yeah, BRB when you get to your PC. Alright. In the meantime, I will keep the distraction for you going. Hope you don't get too distracted while driving. And don't worry, the Ayami voice will no longer bother you because Ayami's no longer here. Unless she comes back later in the episode. We shall see.
I am only motivated by the idea that today is the day Monica's going to actually let us start handling swords.
Weapons, you mean?
Yes, weapons. I don't see why we need to spend most of every day just doing footwork drills.
Because footwork is critical to your success if you want to stab someone, Natsuki.
Exactly. Gotta get that stabbing in. Can't wait for episode 47, Ayami voice. Oh god. To be fair, I still have one more episode in between now and that episode, so I have time to mentally prepare myself for whatever that foreshadowing is.
And I know you want to stab someone, so keep at it. After this break, just one more drill and then we'll get out with the weapons and start some basic blade work stuff. I'll have you guys fencing actual bouts by next week. There's still that tournament coming up in a couple months that I want us to compete in.
But we're just beginners. Won't we be crushed by the KCU pros?
Probably, but it's local so it doesn't cost anything and it'll be fun just to go. It gives everyone something to work towards. Every journey begins with a single step and so forth. Nothing ventured, nothing get.
Ryan! He's here! Hey everyone.
Ryan, what are you doing here?
You literally asked me to join.
I didn't expect you to show up today, but you're very welcome. These are my clubmates, Natsuki and MC.
I've already run into them both, as it turns out. Natsuki and I met earlier this year, and MC I kind of know through Kenzo. Awesome to see you again. You too. So, what do I need to start fencing? I'm assuming I'm way behind.
Yeah, you are. But that's okay, we're just starting club for the evening. I'm sure Monica can give you some lessons one-on-one to catch you up.
Natsuki, I want you to know I've never said this to you with greater sincerity than now. Shut the fuck up.
Okay. I see. So where's this party?
Hell yeah! I love this song.
I hardly even remember Kagami's voice, because I think Kagami was somewhere between default and leaning slightly towards Natsuki. I don't even recall. It's behind the POV, Kagami's looking at it. There's so many people behind you. Of course, of course. They're all on the other side of the gym. Like, this half of the gym is empty because they're preparing it for some kind of event at the party.
Hey, hand me another one.
Haven't you had enough?
No, I clearly haven't. Or I wouldn't be fucking asking for another one.
I would have figured you for such a party animal. I mean, no offense, but you always seemed kinda preppy, I guess?
Fuck you. I mean, you're right, I guess. But do you know what a relief it is to stop being fucking preppy all the time? Just like, turn your fucking brain off for 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, I just don't know the stress of being an uptight A+ student to begin with.
Fuck you again. But yeah, it fucking sucks. And now I'm at school with my brother and he doesn't fucking love me at all, even though I basically raised him. And I can't even be mad because him and his stupid girlfriend he's so obsessed with are being all nice. And now he's got PTSD and he's fucking freaking out. What am I supposed to do about that?
I don't really...
I'm supposed to have another fucking drink. Is what I'm supposed to do. So gimme, now.
Rude.
Please give me another fucking drink.
Good enough. What a party. That's a long black screen. Ah, there we go.
That's odd. Why isn't the scene changing? Oh, I see. It has. You just zoomed into the wrong part of space. Very odd. Here, let me... Better.
Oh, hey! I've seen this back. I've seen this. I've seen the thingy. This been a while on the Discord. New CG, yes, but it has been very heavily it has been showcased for quite a while on the Discord already. That's why it is something that I have definitely seen, but it is nice to finally see it in the mod.
Better. I love this song. I wrote a poem about it once. I hope you don't mind that I've changed the layout of this room somewhat. It's temporary. I just wanted a little bit of a better view out here for a while. Trying to collect my thoughts a little after fencing club. I still have a lot to do today, but I needed a moment to myself. It's beautiful out here. I don't usually look out. I have other things to look at when I'm in here. But all this, it's really pretty if you stop and look. Not that I should be stopping and looking. Goodness knows I have enough to still do today, yet I'm already so tired. But there's so much out here. Feels nice to just forget about it there and look out here.
Why save here? It's just a story. Well, see, the thing is that choices matter, even if it's just a story. But I get it, some choices can never be undone. I get it. For the content, exactly. Maybe you should look out more often then.
Maybe so. It's funny to think that basically I created all of this. I mean, obviously not from scratch, but the world as it is, even this vista of space. Basically, at this point, it's there because I made it be there. I had a lot of help from my friends, of course.
Even the message when you click on the save button is content. True, it is.
But it's a strange feeling. It's so beautiful. It does not feel like something I made. Not because I can't make beautiful things, but because it feels exterior to me somehow. It feels like it being able to stir something in me despite being my creation is meaningful somehow. That's one thing I've come to learn about this game, simulation, world, whatever you want to call it. I used to be afraid that it was meaningless, but it's not. Or, well, at least it's every bit as meaningful as your world. Sure, it can be very constricting and unsettling, but you get used to that, and it has purpose and marvelous beauty sometimes. It's not too different from your world after all. Well, enough literal staring into space. I have so much to do, especially if I'm going to get my 4 hours of sleep tonight.
Imagine only 4 hours of sleep.
I guess I can cut into that a little bit if I have to. I've been pretty good about getting 3 or 4 hours every night for the last week or so. Still, time to get to work.
Back? The boy has been sufficiently snuggled. Back too late today? Aww. Well, at least sufficient snuggling has happened.
Man, it's already dark out. I should hurry and...
Monica suddenly gets several texts in a row.
The sound reception in the space room is so inconsistent. I guess that makes sense. Still, I should really look into fixing that. Now let's see here.
She consults her phone. Hey, heading to bed soon and you're still out. Just wanted to tell you before I forget, thanks for teaching me fencing today. I'll definitely be coming back. I didn't expect it to be so fun. Also, thanks for making breakfast this morning. I made some miso for you for dinner when you finally get home. It'll still be hot, assuming you don't come back when the sun's up. Try to get some sleep today, okay?
You worries too much, I'll be fine. But for now, I have a long way to go before I can sleep. Miles to go before I sleep, even.
Ayami and Natsuki are sitting alone. The return of Ayami! She does come back. Ayami is knitting. Ah, because true. They did say they would do that.
I mean, she keeps hinting, but she'll never admit to anything. I suspect she is interested in some guy but hasn't made anything official.
Well, you know, Hiruko, she doesn't like to count her eggs until they've hatched. I think we'll hear about it if it becomes official.
Yeah, probably. You hear anything from Ikuko lately?
I talked on the phone with her for a while, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. It seemed like she was doing fine. She didn't have a lot new to report.
It must be weird still being in high school while we're all here.
I think it's probably more weird for us than it is for her. I feel like I've grown a lot these last few months. Way more than I ever did in high school. So I feel like there's some distance between me and high school. It seems strange to think of only being there a few months ago.
I know what you mean. Still love Ikuko though? That mean bitch.
Me too. She's a spicy flavor, but I adore her. I think I'm done.
Hell yeah, I knew you could do it. That's an awesome... An awesome... So but what actually is it anyway?
It's a scarf, or it's supposed to be one.
It looks cozy.
Thanks, I'm a little rusty. My later product should be a little more cohesive.
It's awesome as it is, dude. Fantastic work.
You've certainly gotten a lot less spicy while you've been in college.
I'm not less spicy. I am a fucking level 10 pepper sauce. I will burn your mouth and no amount of milk will make it feel better for 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah, maybe so. Natsuki, I wanted to tell you something.
Oh! Is she gonna come out about her homophobia? Is she gonna come out to Natsuki about her homophobia? Is it time? I think it's time.
It's kind of heavy. You might be mad, and it's okay if you're mad. But it's bothering me, and I don't want it to bother me anymore.
What is it?
Do you remember when you came out to all of us in the bathroom that day?
Yeah?
And you were really afraid we wouldn't approve, and that Ikuko freaking out meant she didn't approve.
Yeah?
Well, it was actually me that didn't approve. I didn't say anything. I thought it would be mean, and I didn't want to spoil your happiness because I'm your friend. But I got a bad, yucky feeling from it. I felt like 2 girls shouldn't be dating. And I've still felt that way for a while. I just haven't said anything.
Natsuki says nothing.
I like being your friend. I don't want to lose you, but I told Yuri about it earlier today, and it seemed really unfair not to tell you about it as well. I don't really want to feel this way about it. Like I said, I really like having you as a friend. I guess that if you don't want to be friends after this, I'll understand. But I hope we can be. I'm trying to feel different.
Natsuki still says nothing.
You don't have to say anything if you don't want. I can go if you want.
No, just give me a second to think.
Okay.
Why did you tell Yuri first? You don't even really know her.
2 reasons, basically. The most important one, and why I hadn't told you at all, is that I was afraid of how you would react. I didn't want you to be angry, And I didn't want to lose you as a friend. I guess it was easy to tell Yuri because she's never really been my friend. The other reason why Yuri in particular is that I wanted to ask her particular advice on something. And it seemed wrong to ask for her help while keeping how I felt a secret.
Whereas it's perfectly fine to keep hanging out with me and being my friend while keeping it a secret.
No, it's not perfectly fine. I should have told you sooner, and I'm sorry. I'm telling you now because it seemed unfair to tell Yuri and not you. Because, like you said, you're my friend.
I see. Okay, well, it's hard to deal with for me. It bums me out that one of my best friends thinks this way. Even though you've never really done anything and you've done a great job keeping it to yourself, I'm going to be wondering forever what you think of stuff now. But look, I'm glad you told me. That seems like it was hard as fuck. Above all, I'm glad you just told me the truth. That helps a lot. And if you know it's a bad feeling and you're trying to be better, well, that's all anyone can ask, right?
I feel like you should be able to ask for more support from a friend.
Maybe, maybe not. But that's my call to make. And you've been the kind of friend where as long as you recognize it's fucked up and you are working on not judging me unfairly, I can make the call where you're super worth it to have as a friend. And that's the call I'm making. You're not the first close friend I've had who had a major fuck up that could hurt me. And I've made major fuck ups myself that hurt my friends. We're all just fuck ups, Ayami. Constant, never ending fuck ups. And we keep fucking up with our pals until we fix it or the pal can't take it anymore. And for you, I could take a lot more, friend.
Thank you, Natsuki. I've never really seen this side of you before. I'm not sure I wouldn't feel better if you just yelled at me a bit.
Man, everyone always is surprised when I act nice. I can be nice. I could yell at you if you want, though.
No, that's okay on second thought.
Alright then. So, what was the favor you asked Yuri for anyway?
How not to care about what other people think.
Dang, you came to the right person for that.
I know. She gave me this homework to do an activity I loved while not caring what other people would think, and had you make sure I do it.
So that's why I never knew you knitted before today, yeah.
I was worried you would think it was lame. I was worried a lot of people would think it was lame.
Well, you shouldn't care what I think, but I think it's awesome.
Oh, we get another Monica scene.
Over here. There you are. Interesting that you'd be back seeing me again so soon. I assure you that I'm in the Dean's office without permission late at night for entirely benign reasons.
Of course, entirely benign.
I learned lockpicking from Yuri. It was surprisingly easy, and a very useful skill to have, I might add. Though usually I try to do it legally. But this is important. I'm working on yet another plan, you see. I don't know how much you know about Ryan, but he's in a completely unjust, ridiculous situation.
Sure, Monica. Yeah, I'm here for entirely benign reasons, and I usually lockpick legally. Plots, plots, plots. She's plotting for plot reasons.
And he's much too nice to make waves about it himself. So I'm going to do it for him. Never mind the specifics for now. Suffice to say, I think the angle I used with that clerk is a good one. It should get me the attention I need. The school is really opening itself up to liability issues. If it has a homeless student, it knows it's homeless and does nothing about it. So we'll see if I can find a way to make the case compellingly to the higher-ups here. Gotta know who you're dealing with in those higher-ups, though. I'd be in serious trouble here if I didn't know exactly who I was dealing with, and while I'm happy to use somewhat extra-legal means for this kind of thing, I'd rather not use my, reality cheats. Unless I really have to. And in any event, just teleporting in here wouldn't really have fit with the plan anyway. And besides, it's Natsuki. I wonder what she needs at this hour. Hi Natsuki, what's up?
Monica, did you know Ayami was homophobic when you made that one mod last year?
Not really, is she?
What does not really mean? Because yeah, it turns out she is. And I'm wondering if you knew that, why didn't you tell me? I keep running into situations that are weirdly similar to that mod of yours. Although not all of them, Hiroko loves art school and isn't dropping out.
Well, I honestly didn't really know it. The not really is because I did notice she tended to try to avert her attention anytime you and Yuri were affectionate. So I guess you could say I had some light suspicion, but Ayami's your friend and I didn't want to accuse her of anything just based on a weird hunch. Didn't want to anger you by leveling accusations without any evidence.
I guess that makes sense. It's just weird.
I know what you mean.
You know?
What?
Nah, it's nothing. I was just weirded out by this is all. Have a good night, Chief. Natsuki hangs up.
Well, crisis averted there, I suppose. Unfortunate that Ayami is homophobic. Like I told Natsuki, I had my suspicions, but had no hard proof of it. I hope they can work around it, and that Ayami can get better. Wonder what that bit at the end was about. It does remind me. Oh well, no time to think about it now. I need to move fast. I don't know how long this is going to take, and I have to get back to it. It's already past 11. I can't even sleep when I get home.
But your dinner! Riot made dinner! Speaking of, I have to eat after I'm done streaming as well. I am getting a little bit hungry now. Not sure what I'll eat yet. I'll see what I have in the fridge. Or the freezer. Or whatever. Maybe it'll just be a frozen pizza. Maybe it'll be something else. I'll decide in the moment.
But no point complaining to poor you about it. Nothing you can do. Anyway, I may or may not see you again before this one ends. If I don't, have a good day or night or whatever it is for you, and please stay safe.
It's late for her. It's past 11. Haha, for me it's almost 2 a.m. Monica has those rookie numbers here. Frozen pizza, classic code. It is very classic of me, isn't it? But you can't go wrong with it either. I'm really not painting the healthiest picture of myself, am I? Frozen pizza and everything, being the lazy streamer who's up late at night constantly. I recently made burgers. So I made 2 burgers, and they were tasty when I ate them. So I decided to make 2 burgers after I ate those 2 burgers. And after having eaten a total of 4 burgers, I decided... Nah, I didn't decide to eat more after that. I think after that I was full, but still. Making burgers is fun. Yes, indeed. But yeah, I don't paint the healthiest picture of myself sometimes. I wonder what kind of mental image that makes people project sometimes. Cheese, bread, sauce, good stuff. Yes, eat 2 burgers at morning, eat 2 burgers at night, eat 2 burgers before you eat 2 burgers. It makes you feel alright.
Love it, I have found 3 socks.
I know, I am sorry. I forgot about those. I'm sorry, genuinely, I'm trying to do better.
I know you are, and I appreciate it. Just trying to bring any gaps in your awareness to your attention.
Thanks? I would say that I'll do the same for you, but I already do.
My romantic choices certainly mean I'll never have to worry that my partner is too afraid to call out my shortcomings.
Truth, I'll always have your back on that, babe.
Of course. How was your time with Ayami?
Oh, it was pretty good, I guess. She basically admitted to me that she felt homophobic about us, but was trying to be better.
Yes, so she told me as well earlier today.
Yeah, she said she told you. Were you not gonna tell me she said that?
Well, it seemed like she was telling me in confidence. I warned her that I would not keep it a secret if it seemed you would be harmed by it, or that she was taking advantage of you. I was thinking all today about what circumstances would meet those conditions, and before I had a chance to contemplate it fully, she had already told you, it seems. So it saves me the dilemma.
There's still the dilemma of keeping secrets from your girlfriend.
I did not mean to offend. I felt under the circumstances that you would approve of my course of action.
Yeah, I probably would have. And do, I guess. I wish I could have been consulted. But I guess that defeats the whole point, huh? Look, don't worry about it, babe. I think you did the right thing.
thank goodness. I was afraid not only of displeasing you, but of you taking it out on Ayami.
Nah, she did the right thing coming to you with the confession first.
Really, but she barely knows me. Surely if she wanted to confront this problematic feeling, she should go to her close friend.
Yeah, normally that might be the case, but this is me we're talking about here. Maybe I want her to be a little afraid of what I might say or do if she says she's homophobic. I've got a rep to maintain, and she shouldn't be comfortable with that feeling. So I don't know, in the situation you're like a gate guard. She has to go to you first to seek an audience, to seek forgiveness for her offenses against the crown.
Oh, I see. I don't think of you as a queen, though. You're more like a princess.
Oh yeah? Well, why don't you ever treat me like one?
Oh, I could. Perhaps we...
Someone knocks on the door. Natsuki answers it.
Yeah? Oh, hi?
Hey, Natsuki. Sorry if I interrupted you and Yuri flirting again.
We were not flirting.
I mean, it sounded from this side like you were flirting. But anyway, just a reminder that there's going to be a building potluck and barbecue tomorrow afternoon. There's a flyer for it in case you guys want to go.
Thanks? You gonna be there?
Yeah, RAs have to go.
You poor bastards. Maybe we'll show some pity on you and show up.
Yeah. Enjoy your flirting.
We weren't flirting.
Whatever you say, princess. The RA closes the door. They have very thin walls here, huh?
Shit.
She definitely seems like she's onto us.
Yeah, I guess someone right at the door can hear us too. We should be careful.
Mm-hmm.
But she seems cool about it, right? She's not gonna rat us out or try to make us live separately, right?
I do not know, beloved. I do not even know what the protocol would be if they wish to move us. We really shouldn't worry too much about it, I think.
I don't wanna have to live separately from you, though.
Nor I from you, but clearly it has now reached the point where it is beyond our control. Let us just try to enjoy the rest of the evening. They're not going to give us separate rooms until tomorrow at least.
Yeah, you make a good point there.
And we are coming back to Monica one more time. The room is empty.
Ooh. Hi, Code. Glad you got to stop by one more time. It's been a long evening, hasn't it? What time is it?
Monica turns on her computer. To be fair, it has been a pretty long evening. Even though we have basically only had like a little bit of Sayori's mod to go through, and the emails, we have hit the 3-hour mark already. So yeah, again, maybe it is good that this is the episode that was affected by the internet outage that had me split it in two. We'll see if the other mods are as chunky as Sayori's. We shall see. It's the Monica season, it do be that. Monica turns on her computer.
12:30 a.m.
Ha! Monica, those are still rookie numbers compared to me. 2 a.m. Fool! Try to get on my level.
And I haven't even started on my actual schoolwork yet. That'll take at least 4 hours. At least Ryan was sleeping well when I got home. Well,
She turns on the light.
the faster I get this done, the faster I can finally go to sleep. I really am very tired.
Monica be like, challenge accepted. Not a healthy challenge to accept. At least I can sleep. At least I can sleep in tomorrow. Thankfully.
Only 9 hours of sleep to put together the last 4 nights. I really do need to try to get at least a little bit more tonight. So, time for work. Sorry if I don't talk much, I need to focus.
Monica settles in at her desk and gets out some books. She starts reading one of them, occasionally making notes on her computer. Then there comes the sound of a knock on the front door.
Good thing I didn't try to get changed, I guess. Who could it even be at this hour? Not already, but it certainly could be. I should treat it as such. Yes, that would be entirely in keeping with what I know. Still, why at this hour?
I know, right? It's almost 1. Monica's voice drops to a whisper.
What are you doing here? I thought you were asleep.
I was, but then I heard you come in and woke up a bit, and then someone knocked, so I got up. I'm kind of a light sleeper.
Well, come on, go back to your room. We don't want you to be seen here.
Huh? Why not?
What if it's an administrator from the college?
Why would they ever?
Just go.
Monica grabs Ryan by the arm and drags him back to his room. Oh, okay, calm down.
Now stay in there until I say so. Okay, sorry, coming.
Monica opens the front door. There's a very obviously drunk student in the front entryway. Wait, you're not Mariko.
I'm Monica, you got the wrong house.
Yeah, sorry.
160, brown, black, medium, 10. 160, brown, black, medium, 10. Okay, you can come out now.
Who was it?
Just some drunk kid. Maybe I should have called them a ride or some help or something. I can't, I have too much to do myself.
Wait, you don't mean tonight, do you?
I still haven't even started on schoolwork. Need to do all of that tonight.
How much schoolwork do you have?
I don't know, at least 3, maybe 4 hours?
Monica, you can't just work until 5 a.m. every day.
It's not every day.
It sure seems like every day recently. You won't be able to do any work or help anyone if you don't sleep.
I'm fine. You should go back to sleep.
Monica starts to walk away.
I'm gonna go start on...
Ryan grabs her by the arm, stopping her from leaving. Good, Ryan, take some charge. Monica, listen to me for a second. If you keep doing this, you're going to hurt your health. You need to sleep. Oh, she's blushing! She's blushing! Let's go, Ryan! Go for it! Even if you weren't giving me a free place to live, I care about you and don't want you to get hurt. Please build some time into your schedule for sleep. Or at least let me make you some food while you do your work or something.
You're very sweet, Ryan.
Monica softly peels his hand off her arm.
But I know what I'm doing. I have things under control, and I've always taken care of myself. Good night. You really should go back to bed, you know.
Monica goes to her room. I wonder... That's all for now. The Monica Space Room CG is by Jonathan, aka Statiquit. All the other credits for the mods as it can, as always, be seen in the credits.txt. Don't forget to email Monica and the club your questions at lit.club.press.monica@gmail.com. Thanks for playing. See you next time. Now I will go back in real quick because there are a few things that I wanted to check. Okay, so the first choice was already in Sayori's mod. Thank you for clubbing the old meetings, indeed. But there are a few things I want to... Okay, I don't have to go here because whatever option I pick, it'll glitch out the game anyway. But this is where there are different choices. What did I even say last time? Was I silent? If you mean your childhood friend? No. I don't think so. Okay. Is it all? I think it's all the same. I'm double checking though. Yeah. Okay, what else do we have? This choice. He did what?
It's a long story, but he has done so much for me. So much that you don't even know about, even though you're in his body. What happened to MC?
Okay, so that's that alternate choice. We're just speedrunning through these choices right now because I want to see them. Is there any way to get back MC?
None that I can think of. That was my only idea, and even this idea required horribly re-traumatizing everyone by making us all go through the base game again fully aware of what would happen to us. Sorry about that again, everyone.
It was tolerable.
But I can't think of how else to bring that person back, if he even really existed anywhere outside Sayori's memories and briefly mine. I think we're never going to see him again.
Is she going to be okay eventually?
Eventually, yes, I think. We are still here for her. When we can support her and get her through her dark times, we will just have to be particularly attentive to her, I think. And make sure she knows that she is loved and still has people to love. It will be difficult for her in the short-term future.
And she will forever be a sad, tragic widow.
but perhaps eventually she can reconcile reality with her memory of the person only she knew.
Okay, what else do we have? This choice. You have good friends, they'll help you. That's the one I chose last time. What if I say I miss him too? Okay, yeah, fair enough. I think that's probably gonna be the same for everything except for the silence. It'll be okay. And what would you know about it? Yup. What if I just stay silent? Oh, and that just skips that line of what would you know about it. She just continues further on. She doesn't get angry. The only way not to upset her is to say nothing. What if I just say no to proceeding? Does it exit out? No. Okay, it just exits out. Imagine if it was like, too bad, you're gonna see it anyway. I wonder if there are some people that actually hit no and don't ever play that what if scenario. I do wonder if there are some people that take the warning fully seriously, as they should. They should take it seriously because it was horrible, but they will miss out on that horrible story. Sayashi crisis averted, indeed. Indeed, we have averted it. Truly, we got the good ending by saying we want to avoid whatever that was. Alright, now. I think, with that, we have hit a good point to wrap things up for the day. I have finished the episode. And again, next week will probably be Genshin Impact again. And then the week after that, we should be able to get into the next episode. But yeah, since Genshin drops an update and the maintenance is going to be done in like 2 hours maybe, that definitely means that next week will have to be a Genshin stream. As much as I would prefer this. I definitely would. But yeah, let's see if we can raid someone. Oh, you know what? We haven't raided Rune in a while, have we? Shall we raid Rune again? Again, we don't raid Rune as much anymore because our schedules don't usually align as much anymore. For some reason, we shifted our schedules apart a little bit more. But I used to raid him a lot in the past, and Rune actually also used to be a DDLC streamer for a while. Hasn't played DDLC in a long time, but definitely someone who can appreciate raid coming in from DDLC people. They're doing a some kind of marathon. Day 7 of the Voidathon. But they're not streaming 24/7. They're definitely taking their breaks, which is something you need. Breaks are important. But yeah, we're going to be raiding into a starting soon screen, which is definitely always nice, because that means we won't be missing anything. Of course, the downside with doing this is the obvious thing of, you know, when we come in with the raid, we will have to wait a little bit for things to officially start. But other than that, again, the starting soon screen does have the advantage of us not missing anything. Definitely, definitely. So, yeah, everyone be nice, be kind, and I will see some of you around probably either on Friday or on Saturday, or next week for Genshin, or the week after that at the very latest for more DDLC again. I can't wait to see how the season concludes and what else the season has in store up until then, including the rest of the mods from the club. Those are going to be fun. But yeah, that's it from my end. See you around, everyone. And if you're watching this after it's been uploaded to YouTube as a VOD, then you know what? I appreciate your support. And you know what? If you want to catch me live in the future, you can easily do so. All you have to do for that is check the video description down below. If you scroll past the poem, you will find a link to my Twitch. I stream there every single Friday and Saturday, and sometimes other days of the week too, on a bit more of an irregular basis. I would love for you to swing by. There is of course no pressure though. It's only if you want. Until then though, that's it from my end. And I do hope to potentially maybe see you around in the future. Until then, have a good one, and goodbye. Bye.